28th East Ascension Drainage Meeting to order. All commissioners present. Mr. Core, would you lead us in the invocation followed by the pledge?
Yes, thank you. Everyone, please prepare yourselves for prayer. Lord, you placed us in this position knowing that we were going to come to making difficult decisions. And Lord, you know that we are here to benefit the citizens of Ascension, not ourselves. And sometimes those difficult decisions may look like we are doing those things. Lord, I beg of you to place your blessings on everyone in this room tonight, everyone that's out there watching us on television, and of course all the citizens of Ascension Parish, as we trudge through difficult times in doing your blessing for the people of Ascension Parish. And Lord, while I'm here, I'm also going to ask you to place your hand on my sister-in-law as she's undergoing some difficult times tonight. And I ask that you continue to love her and comfort her and provide her the best care that she can have. In the name of your Son, we pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign in. Ms. Cinnamon. Before we go on to general business, we need to see if we can add case 708-84219 in executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Lawless, second by Ms. Terry. Any opposition? Not. That will be E. And that is the East Baton Rouge Parish case. Number 4 is a resolution to void the contract between the East Ascension Drainage District Number 1 and the Ascension Parish President. Mr. Corey?
Motion.
Yeah, we got public speaking.
Open up public comment.
Moved by Mr. Aaron, open public comments, second by Mr. Johnny. Please bear with us just a minute. First person, Mark Matthews.
No, I'm sorry, he doesn't wish to speak.
Hold on, he might be wanting to speak now.
Maybe that's not him.
Okay. He's opposed, but he doesn't wish to speak. All right, let me see. Somebody, I got a bunch who do not want to speak.
Hello, I'm Mark Matthews from Prairieville.
Go ahead, Mr. Matthews, please.
Yes, sir. I'm here to oppose the proposal to have Clint removed. We feel like he's done a great job so far. We feel like he's done more in a short period of time than anyone before him. So we'd ask that you please not do that. We think we've got a fine person there that's doing a great job.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews.
Mr. Randy Kluwat.
Mr. Randy Kluwat.
How are we gonna set this?
Yeah, just said it.
Doing? Santa Monica, Louisiana. District 6. Mr. Melanson is my council member. I begrudgingly had to fill out a colored card, and I've told the chairwoman about that also. So sometimes people don't want to be nailed to a side. They just want to speak. They want to let you know how they feel. So make things short. I'm not totally in favor of this move right now to disengage from parish administration on East Ascension drainage. I feel like when we did it, Chairperson Lambert, you were there when it was done before, and at that time you was probably on the losing side of the coin, and so we went into a new administration at that time and made a decision to work with the parish administration. But we also had the conviction of the parish administration to work with the council and the Drainage Commission. And it worked pretty damn good. I just felt like a united front going forward, as we don't live on an island, we're not supported by our own tax bases. We have one of the best tax bases. I want to thank the people of Ascension Parish for that. But when we go forward to other agencies, they don't want to hear three stories. And but I've had some assurances on the state level and the federal level that they will keep Ascension Parish's best thoughts forward. I just feel sad that we came here today based on not a lack of communication, a lack of willingness and patience, and to hear everybody's side of the story. Because everybody up here I'm looking at that's elected, got elected and had the idea that they were going to try to do a great job and move forward for their residents. So I don't know all the details of how you got here tonight, but I would like to see a little bit more thought into this and see what the total plan is. And I know you have a basic plan out. We're in the middle of a lot of money that came down to Louisiana since the 2016 flood. And there's a lot of things at stake. And there's a lot of regional projects that we're working with. So I'm asking that y'all give some deep thought before you vote tonight and try to everybody work together. All right? And I'll take my last 8 seconds and thank all y'all for putting your damn name on the ballot, okay? And getting up there, because you ain't gonna.
Thank you, man. All right, Ms. Catherine Goppel.
Ms. Catherine Gopp.
Good evening. Relationships have brought a rift between the parish president, who is currently managing drainage, and the council drainage board. Just when progress is being made, do you really want to return to past failures? Tried before, experience has shown that it is best to keep the management of drainage under the parish president. Even the person you are considering to temporarily replace the parish president with agrees. Responsibility must be accepted, not put on the backs of those you appoint. Making the drainage board an appointed commission is a bad idea. It will not solve our drainage problems. No appointed board can take away your responsibility for drainage. This is what was done with the Planning Commission, and it has proven to be a disaster for our community. When citizens elected you, we had confidence that you would grab the bull by the horns and not let go until these reoccurring problems were addressed and solved. New permits have been secured from the Corps of Engineers for the Philippi Lateral and Bayou Boyle that will greatly help in the flooding in the Gonzales area that is currently gravity drained. Projects are moving forward. Funding has been secured through the Pontchartrain Levee District for a project to build a levee and put a mega pumping station in Sorrento. This is only one important piece of the puzzle for Gonzales. Do not sabotage these efforts with this knee-jerk reaction. right choices require both relationships and responsibility. What you are considering shows that you are unwilling to work on relationships or take the responsibility you pledged when you took the oath of office. Why are we here tonight? Politics has taken precedence over the people. What we see is a dysfunctional government, not because we do not have the ability to do the work, but there is an inability to work together for the betterment of the community. Please, tonight, set aside your differences, move past relationships, and take responsibility. Only then will you be able to make the right choices. Relationships, responsibility, right choices. It's not too late to do the right thing. Work with the parish president. Just say no to all 4 items on this proposal. Thank you so much, and I'd like to place my comments in the record.
Miss Debbie Kidder.
Okay, y'all remember me from last time? Okay.
I'm drawing a blank.
Well, do what?
I'm drawing a blank. I don't.
Come on, you get in a minute, Chase. Okay, who was elected to be the head of the drainage board? Who? Somebody is supposed to be doing it. We don't have one. I thought it was him. Oh, you wait a minute. Y'all are the parish council and y'all don't know that he is supposed to be taking care of drainage? What the hell are y'all doing up here? And exactly why do y'all want to kick him out to put someone else in here who for 17 years did nothing? Let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because y'all know this guy can't do a damn thing for us. Nothing. And when it fails, y'all want to say it was Clint's fault because he didn't do his job. Guess what? You're not doing your job. We put you in here to take care of us. To take care of us. And after this last meeting that I was in, after seeing about 100 people come up here and beg y'all to give us enough of a moratorium to where we could get everything straight in our parish, y'all voted with the other people from out of town. What are y'all doing up here? I mean, there's a couple of y'all that are fabulous, and then there's 3 or 4 y'all that aren't worth the crap. And we will get rid of you.
Please hold yourself.
Selena Fontenot.
Selena Fontenot. Bro, is that all up? Was that the ones that was?
So believe it or not, most of them don't want to speak.
Is this where I wasn't even planning on speaking? I'm not on any side. I'm on Ascension Parish's side. We need help. We need the water to go and not stay in our yards and in our homes. Y'all, some of y'all have never flooded. I have flooded and lost everything. All I'm asking for is for help. Okay, like I said, I don't know y'all from squat, okay, but I just need help. I have a picture here just from the other day, June 6th. Everything is flooded. People can't even pass down the road. My house, water's fixing to go in again. I'm a little nervous, yeah. We need help. We need to dredge the damn canals, dredge Henderson Bayou, clean out the canals. We've lived in this. We are faithful citizens of Ascension, and we need help. We've been here 25 plus years. That's what I'm asking for, help. Okay, help the faithful citizens, not the money-hungry home builders that already made their millions. Let's slow it down like y'all did, okay? But get the ditches drained and dug, and the bayous cleaned out and dredged. Please. I can show y'all this picture. I don't know. Somebody said you can put it. Joe Boy Road. Okay, just June 6th. We need help. Help, please. Y'all need to help the people. That's why y'all have an oath to God, not only to yourselves, but to God, to protect the citizens of Ascension. And that's like what that lady said. We voted y'all in. We need y'all to, like she said, quit taking sides. I don't have any sides. I just want help. Amen.
Denise Emmons.
Denise Emmons.
Here I am. I don't know how to turn this on though.
Just set it underneath there, ma'am. They'll turn the camera on for you.
Yeah, there it goes. Okay, there's my lake when I moved here. You've seen this before if you were at the council meeting. This is what happened because of poor stuff, but I've had lots of people out, lots of people on this board, from the council, on, and come back, and no one ever pointed this out to us. We lived with this for 3 years. We're still living with this mud that comes directly from Oak Grove Townhomes into our lake. This man came one time and walked around with us and pointed out 3 items as to this. Oh, this shouldn't be. This needs to have that drainage. And I drew it. I didn't reprint the pictures. Needs to have a 90-degree right here so the water can go up and you're getting the clean water. He knew that. Why? Could it be that he's a landman? He knows stuff about drainage, on and on and on. I sent a picture of several different things. And by the way, this is a copy of the DEQ report. And several times the parish did shut him down, but nothing ever happened. And this is the mud that is coming directly into our lake, a private lake that you do nothing for. Well, I take that back. You clean out the drains that go underneath of Willow Lake. This is the mud coming in. This is my friend's boat. Wouldn't it be nice if he could get in his boat and have a good time? I invite you to come over and swim around. It's beautiful. This is my lake. I actually took this before the last council meeting. So, and if I could, oh, and this is up here. I don't know if this is for us, but I think you were talking about Corey, weren't you? When you sent that over? Yeah, I think you were talking about Corey. Did you send this to me in a personal email talking about Corey?
He posted it on Facebook.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it came directly to me about the embassy. I'm sorry. The sign. Thank you. Thank you, Corey.
Next, brother. Who's next?
Susan Jordan.
Susan Jordan.
Good evening. I'm Susan Jordan, here to speak out against everything proposed so suddenly and secretively on tonight's agenda. I, along with the majority of Ascension Parish voters, support our President Clint Quaintmaw. I spoke in favor of our president's 12-month moratorium, as did the majority who spoke on that night. You, the council, are supposed to vote for your constituents. But instead, most of you voted against President's 12-month moratorium. Democracy? No democracy for us. And now 3 of you have come up with an agenda to hinder efforts to improve drainage and to waste more taxpayer dollars, $140,000 a year, on a salary for someone who didn't fix drainage for years when he had the chance. The worst of all of this is that these 3 council members met in private and did not include the entire council. This secrecy and lack of transparency must be stopped as it hurts us all. You, the elected council, have stirred up a hornet's nest, and the good people of Ascension are ready to petition recall because of tonight's agenda. We, the people, stand by President Quantmall, and we chose him to be in charge of drainage. He's the only one who's done anything to work on drainage improvements. Let him do his job for all of us. I implore all of you to vote against this whole agenda and stop playing politics. A line has been crossed, and the good citizens living here have had enough. Stop this power grab and vote against this agenda. Don't forget, you represent us, the people, and vote for those who elected you. Give us back our democracy. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Catherine Delat.
I'm a newbie, so be patient. My name is Catherine Delat. I'm a registered nurse and have been a resident here in Ascension Parish for 34 years. In 2016, our home in Santa Maula did not flood, but many of my friends and family did flood and had their lives turned upside down for months, some years. We have since moved to Gonzales a couple of years ago. Less than a week ago, nearly 36 folks stood up here and expressed their support of our parish president and his suggested moratorium on the subdividing of property in the parish. In spite of this, you refused to give his proposal a simple up or down vote, but rather a few of you managed to destroy whatever scant measure of goodwill you may have enjoyed with the people you represent and substituted your own proposal instead. And then when this committee's co-chair, Mr. Melanson, clearly stated in an interview with WAFB that he was only provided a, quote, heads up notifying him of this, quote, emergency meeting shortly before everyone else learned of it. I can't say as I was surprised after what I witnessed during that council meeting last week. Can someone tell me what makes this such an emergency? I agree that the search for a true drainage expert is indeed warranted, but not at the exclusion of our parish president, especially since this issue has been at the forefront of his mission to serve the people of Ascension Parish. And this rush to install a former parish employee who served as the front man on this important issue years back, many of us would surely like a chance to review his credentials and specific area of expertise in the field of community drainage management. At the recent council meeting, one member was haranguing the parish president, repeatedly asking what he's done over the past 17 months, over and over. I think the parish president issued a comprehensive summary of just that, which I read through today. And that summary highlights some rather significant efforts being put forth under his direction, despite having to cope with the COVID restrictions during that time. I am ashamed to admit that I have been guilty of being one of those who has stood idly by and mostly just yelled at my TV or computer when hearing or reading about current local, state, or national politics. I think many of us suffer from, if it doesn't affect my little part of the world, I'm good syndrome. I know I have. But getting angry about things politicians do that influence our lives and the lives of those we love doesn't accomplish anything. And recently, former Secretary of State called on all concerned citizens to stop standing on the sidelines and
Thank you,
get
ma'am.
involved. So, getting involved.
Jeremy. Please, refrain. Jeremy Epps.
Thank you, everyone. Jeremy Epps, Prairieville, Louisiana. You know, I wish they had a red and green card and we could maybe make it Christmas, right? But they don't. Looking back over the years of drainage, you know, we have been here before. And to hear people say that Mr. Rue didn't do anything, That's just not true either. There were a lot of things that Mr. Rood did do a good job on. The problem with this and the whole situation is the election cycles, right? And I feel we're trying to rush through something tonight that I think we really need to pause and make sure we're making the right decision. And how do we do it so we don't continue to get caught in this trap during these election cycles? We've separated drainage before, and we started making progress, and then it ended up right back to where it is today. I too agree, Clint's doing everything he can do at this moment. I do agree, drainage is very complex, and every one of you are challenged on a daily basis with that. But let's just not let this get caught up in politics. If we're gonna do it, let's do it right. Let's make sure that what happens in the next 2.5, 3 years, we don't get caught in another election cycle, and this was all for nothing again. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Rachel Campos.
Rachel Campo. Now, if you have a green card, get it up here to the front, please. Oh, she's just waving, whatever.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Campo, and I am a lifelong resident of Ascension Parish with a long history of family of lifelong residents. I would like to start by saying I am not here for who I do or who I do not like. I like results. Our drainage problems go back much further than the day Clint was elected to office, and I am aware that several council and board members have been where you sit through many of the past years, with opportunity to find solutions, but the issues only get worse. I have many concerns for our parish. I really don't know if it is allowed, but I have my pictures. I have copies for each of you if you'd like a copy to see what I'm talking about later. These were taken this morning. And as you can see, every drainage, every drainage ditch surrounding us is not only overgrown with vegetation and sediment, there are places that trees, this is a main drainage, that drains our whole street off of Miller Street by the Prairieville Fire Department to 73, that goes to the Goodine, that goes to New River. I live in a 51-year-old house that is in a no flood zone. And I flooded May 17th, me and along 4 or 5 of my neighbors. I don't think that the drainage ditch that runs behind I-10 to Highway 73 behind Miller Road has been cleaned out since Kenny Matassa first took office. But it used to get cleaned out every year. These issues surrounding our home had a great impact on our home flooding. Our drainage system is broken, but what makes it worse is a lot of the issues are due to neglect to our current drainage system and growth without infrastructure needs first. I have many family members who live in Santamon that constantly flood and had to completely tear down their homes in 2016. And I'm not talking 1 or 2, I'm talking 15 to 20 of my family members who had to tear down their homes. Biko Babin is my great-grandpa. And I had others that had to struggle to come back after losing everything they own and figure out how to financially repair their homes on numerous occasions. Where has all the money gone? Because it had not much has gone to our drainage. Again, this goes back way before Clint. But just like most of you, the people of this parish voted each of you into office because they wanted honest leaders and a change for the better. This board has gone back and forth with previous presidents, removing them, adding them, and even giving a raise to a previous president through drainage funds. How does that happen with the taxpayers' dollars?
Thank you, ma'am.
Not always for the best for the parish.
Tim Babin.
Mr. Tim Babin.
My name's Tim Babin. I've sandbagged our family houses and friends' houses since 1977. We grew up watching flooding in this parish. Now we have a man in the parish president's seat that has ideas to lessen the flooding. He is showing he is a man of action, and some of you want to take that away. Then replace them with someone that has not done anything to alleviate one house from flooding. We get mad at what happens in Washington, D.C. We can do very little. Same with Baton Rouge. But now we see this is on the local level, and I think people are fed up. They do not want to see backroom secretive deals that come out and show that we truly have corruption. We have 3 members at 1 vice chair that was not even consulted. Y'all 3 are not even part of the clique. How do you feel about that? That you're not part of the clique of this? How does your constituents feel about that? That they did not even consult y'all? I didn't have to worry about what my councilman would do. I knew what he would do. This is dirty politics. All this was pre-planned, or it would not have been served up the way it was. You not serve up something like this without everything and all your ducks in a row. So it's all done behind closed doors. You all are supposed to be better than this. There's no trust left. Y'all should all vote. If you all vote for this, you should resign. As the movie network said, it's so well, we should all be standing up and saying, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Holly Glover.
Good evening. Parish President, I've come here tonight to address you. The parish is in peril. The public is tired of not being heard. As most of you up there know, and probably I guess half the parish and probably most of the state knows, I've advocated for the wetlands for 30 plus years. So here's what my message to you is. Having supported you and voted for you, I wanted you to voice my concerns for our home and our parish. I do not, and I'll say this to all of you, support the way this has been handled. It shows a lack of professionalism, and I agree with the gentleman who just spoke a minute ago. We see it at the federal, state, and local now. So let me get back on track. The Department of Public Works, under your direction, over the past 18 months, has gotten more done in the past 18 months than the previous 40 years. And I know that because I had a drainage issue that was brought up 13 years ago, and we've just now finally got water flowing in front of my house. Next, let's address the $140,000 proposed salary. And let me be very clear on this, with no forethought of speaking to Ms. Emmons first. Previously, I was contacted by them and asked, how would you navigate this? You have an environmental issue with a community that was harmed, okay? Use the $140,000, give it to Willow Lake, and give it to all these people back here who have flooded. Address the environmental needs, then work with it. I also agree with Mr. Kluwat. There's about $1.62 billion, I believe, in coffers from the federal level to address these issues. Lastly, Parish President, I'm going to address you one more time and tell you this. I entrusted you to do your job. I have complete confidence in you to do your job. I know that you will do your job for those of us who elected you. I do not, at the moment, have any faith in all of you to represent the citizens of this parish.
Sandra Tompley. Sandra Tompley. Who's next? No Tompley. Denise Drago.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Let Miss Denise go and then you can go next.
Everybody's
Oh, they started my time and he was still talking. All right.
They started it over, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
It seems to me this council, acting as the East Ascension Drainage Commission, is the legislative branch of our parish, trying to reach over into the executive branch of our parish and trying to strip the governing powers from our parish president. Parish President Clint Quintmore was elected because of his impressive drainage knowledge and experience. The voters elected him to represent us and get the work done, including drainage. Just like you, he answers to the citizens of this parish. Parish President Quintmore has been working very hard on drainage and has over $100 million in drainage construction projects on the books right now. While the parish may need expert advice to create a working plan, citizens expect our elected councilman, you, to make the final decision on that plan. But our parish president was elected to lead the implementation of the plan. I think everyone here will agree very little has been done on drainage for decades in Ascension Parish. It is past time for these drainage projects to begin. I would like to remind all of you as elected officials, you serve as commissioners on this drainage board and you represent us, the people. I surely hope you really listen to our voices and pleas tonight and do what we are asking for, which would leave Parish President Quintmore in charge of drainage. We expect all our elected councilmen, as well as our parish president, to work together for the good of our parish. Putting differences aside, residents expect no less. And I would just like to thank everyone for coming out, and y'all can see our sea of blue for support of our parish president. We think he's doing a good job, so thank you, sir. And thank you for being here tonight, too.
Ms. Sandra Tompley.
My name is Sandra Tompley. I'm a lifelong resident of Ascension Parish. And I think the canceling of the contract with Mr. Quintmore is ludicrous. It is, like everybody else has said, this is one of the main reasons why we elected Mr. Quintmore, because we had confidence in his ability to do to our parish what needs to be done. Now, I didn't type up a big fancy speech or anything like some of these people did, and I'm really glad I didn't, because I see a few people that hadn't even picked up their head, and I doubt it they've ever even listened to one word that's been said here today. And that saddens me. That really saddens me as much as everything else going on in this parish. Mr. Quintmore has accomplished a lot in 18 months, and I think it is absolutely insane to say, because of a few people who have vendettas and don't want him to succeed, want him out as the drainage director. It doesn't make any sense. One of you in your Facebook post even said, you admitted that he is probably the most qualified person in the parish to do the job, but yet you are pushing the agenda to get rid of him. That makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. And my thing is, this is such a big decision. Why should it be up to just you people? If you want him out, if you want this done, bring it to the people. Let the people vote on it. Let us have a say. finally let us have a say, because everything that we ever get up here and try to say to you people, you do not listen. With the exception of a few of you, and you know who you are. But you do not listen to the people of this parish and what we feel like is the best for our parish. I've been here for 70 years, and I'm going to tell you what, my dad, my grandfather, a lot of people I know who was in politics way back then, they are rolling over in their grave, seeing what has taken place in this parish between the council and our parish president. It's petty and it's childish. It's like children fighting over toys. Stop it. We don't need that. We need something done. We need the drainage in this parish fixed, and until you work together, it's not going to happen.
Thank you, ma'am. Chris Hebert. Chris Hebert.
I guess the only thing that I have to say about this meeting is, after a full day of work and every attempt under the sun to put this vote to a stop tonight, by any means legally necessary, we're here anyways. There are some of you on this council tonight that I know without a reasonable doubt that you know what your vote is tonight. This was pre-planned, it was pre-orchestrated, and I will not stop short to find answers to this. And if that is the case, then I will do exactly as I did as the last meeting and follow another Attorney General's complaint. When we see at the federal level, at a state level, and at a local level what's going on, and I listen to some of these council members, and I've talked to you, some of you personally, you know, act as if you have the best interest of this parish in mind. It's hard to believe that based off of what I've seen. It's hard to believe that based off of what I know. It's hard to believe that when you guys are sitting up here continuously, you know, diddle-daddling on your iPads and not really paying attention to what the citizens have to say in this parish. I can't blame anybody. I'm an outsider. I've only been here for 10 years. You know, who am I, you know, to a lifelong parish resident? I can't really answer that question. But to the council members who had no idea of this coming tonight, I encourage you to do the right thing. I encourage you to stand up, and tonight is the night to make a political statement, guys. Thank you.
Reverend Glenda Ricks. Glenda Ricks.
Yes, my name is Reverend Glenda Ricks, and I'm here tonight because I think what's going on should not be. Because this gentleman, Mr. Clint, the night of the flooding, was the only one of you that I know of, and I know of him because he was on television talking about it. When the flood was going on, while everybody else, the majority of was at your house sleeping, 2 o'clock in the morning, he was up helping people with sandbags, trying to make a difference. Now that's what you call leading by an example. And that's what he should be, and that's what each and every one of you need to be doing. Leading by example and taking a stand and doing what's right. Of course, we'd have a problem with drainage. We need more help. He can't do this by himself. If all you all put your heads together and pray and ask God to help you with the right decision, you'll come up with something. But this is not a right decision. We need to get it right. I tell you, We can't continue going the way that we are going right now. I just want you all to realize and know that you got to take a stand. You are hired for transparency. You are hired to do your job. You're not hired to come together in cliques and do what you want to do the way you want to do. It's time out for that kind of mess. It's time to stand up for what's right and righteous, because that's the only way God's going to bless it. And so we need the help here. I'm a lifelong resident, been here all my life. And it's time out. I'm still having problem with flooding. Even I'm waiting on you all to come get back with me on trying to make a drainage back from mine. You got it high on one side, low on the other. But you got to come together and do this thing right. Trying to kick somebody out that's trying to do the best they can do is not the right thing. So I'm asking you all, see God in whatever you make a decision on. Thank you.
Rebecca Mabu.
I'm disappointed. I want to see Clint stay in here and do the best job that we've elected him to do. I went away for the weekend, had to go for a memorial service, turned my phone off, so I was getting all kind of comments coming from this group. Went to work today, was very tired right now, didn't want to come to this meeting, and I found out what it was about. I really thought this meeting was going to be about what you guys have accomplished in the last 2 weeks. The last time I came up here, I asked that you guys could work together, that this could work together to do this job, to get something accomplished. I didn't get to make the meeting for the what is it called? The moratorium. Yes. I couldn't make it because I had to go babysit grandkids. I was disappointed in the way that turned out. It was asked for 12 months. If it took that long, you could have got it done quicker. You could have got it done in 9 months. But you changed everything up. I don't even understand everything. But it seems like you're just not working together. And then I thought in the last 2 weeks, if you only needed 9 months, you could have got up here and done something. You guys should be working every single day to get something accomplished with this. If you only need 9 months, why do we have these 4 things on here? Why is this what you're working on? Work on the drainage. The Ascension citizens hired him to do the job for us. We hired him. I don't understand why, when you started the moratorium, this is what you're focusing on. That's all I have to say.
Patricia Pino.
Miss Patricia Pino. Miss Pat?
Pass. Pass.
Okay, sorry.
Tiffany DeBenedetto.
Tiffany DeBenedetto.
Hello. I am in opposition of the proposal today. As a citizen of Ascension Parish, I voted for Clint as my parish president, in a large part because of his land surveyor background and his associated knowledge and expertise that he could bring to the job. In case you have not all noticed today, we, the people in Ascension Parish, are sick and tired of all of the backroom dealings. And when I say the backroom dealings, I'm meaning getting contracts set in place and LLCs established before you even announce that a meeting is going to be presented to the people. It is time for all of our elected officials to perform the duties that you have been elected for, which is to work for the citizens and to put us first. The individual that you are proposing helped to create a lot of the drainage issues that we are facing today, from my understanding. He was also the drainage director that was in charge during the 2016 flood, and we saw how that leadership served us. At this point, I please urge you to please allow Clint the opportunity to perform the duty that he was elected by we the people to do. Thank you.
Mr. Roy Domain.
Mr. Roy Domain.
Good afternoon, Roy Domain, fellow resident. When I observe the typical management run by government versus the way that industry manages, the effectiveness has been vastly different. I see government leaders changing every 4 to 8 years, except for state and federal legislators. When a new leader comes in, they want their fingerprint on everything and create more changes through many of the systems, though many of the systems have proven to be effective. I'm not certain why they deem it necessary to get their engineers to reevaluate what has already been studied. When we look at what has been spent on engineering and not implemented, who benefits? We need a manager in the drainage department whose qualifications are proven to yield results. A proper vision with previous engineering factored in that can be effectively implemented so our fellow residents can see the improvements and not see the floodwaters should be top priority. Like industry, the compensation for this manager should be predicated on a base salary with incentives based on the merits of the department's performance. Incentives always enhance performance. A parish president has a huge number of responsibilities and has to divide one's time to manage a lot. Given the scope of drainage needs in an area with over 75 inches of rainfall annually requires a full-time job with someone giving it their total attention. The best legacy a good leader can leave is the good people brought in to build an incredible team that lead others effectively with the goal of being the best servant leaders around. The greatest leaders listen to the counsel of those who have seen what does and doesn't work and glean from their years of experience. They assemble the best that then makes them look like they are the best. This is what we need in the drainage department. We do not need constant changes. We need determined commitment to create lasting results. To know that we have over $8 million in state funding and it's not being released, given the terms of the release have not been met, is very sad for our fellow residents who have paid for the services needed but are not getting the results. I commend your thinking. I agree. We need a full-time leader plowing into the previous, proposing the best that our industry has assembled, and implementing a plan to work for all. Thank you.
Ricky Carmouche.
Let me just first start off by saying thank y'all for the time that y'all sacrifice from your families. I know how much my time with my family means to me. Thank you for that. I'm here in opposition of the item 4A, B, C, D of the agenda, just to speak out that. And listening to the comments, some very valid arguments, some emotional arguments. And what I'd like to see is that we work together, because there's an opportunity here to show all these concerned citizens that y'all are willing to pull together and work together. And I kind of compare that to coaching my youth baseball team, the concept of teamwork that I try to teach these kids and instill in them. And hey, it's always, hey, let's do it for the kids. Hey, show them what teamwork is. There's a proposal in place there that would accomplish the goals that y'all both see. The end goals are the same. Work together. Show the citizens of our parish that y'all here for us. Start building that confidence back, because that's the only way that we're going to move forward, is working together. Not just in drainage, in every aspect of our parish. So please work together. I also like to thank everybody here tonight, my fellow citizens, for showing up, because this is one way that we can hold our elected officials accountable. You come out, you show your support, you speak out, you participate. Someone said it, you get involved. So this is very reassuring to me to see fellow members of my community out here supporting people that they believe in. So please continue to do this, not just on drainage, but on everything within our parish. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kathy Emerson.
Kathy Edmiston.
Good evening. Thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Kathy Edmiston. The entire Ascension legislative delegation has come together to work with the parish president on projects needed to improve drainage and address flooding. I have in my hand a letter of October the 12th. The same is being given to you right now. This letter was sent to our Louisiana senators and Congressman Garrett Graves, identifying 2 drainage projects in Ascension for our top priority in our region. I would like to read the opening paragraph of this letter. Dear Honorable Senators Cassidy, Kennedy, and Congressman Graves, those representing various governing bodies in Ascension Parish in both state and local government are coming to you with a unified front in purpose and resolve to address current drainage issues now facing Ascension Parish. It also was stated, while we are working together to move these 2 priority projects forward, it is very necessary that the current channels and waterways in these basins be maintained so that when these projects are complete, the water has a clear passage to its intended outflow. This will also mitigate any also mitigate any future flooding or rain events. The letter is signed by the following officials: Parish President Clint Quintma, Senator Ed Price, Senator Eddie Lambert, Representative Clay Schexnayder, Representative Tony Bacala, Representative Ken Brass, myself, Chairman Dempsey Lambert, Mayor Barney Arsenault, and Mayor Mike Lambert of Sorrento. The response to our letter was very positive, and there has been substantial progress made toward moving these projects forward. The parish is working more closely with the Corps of Engineers as a result and has received at least 2 permits, one for Bayou Boyle and another for the Philippi Lateral. Funding has been secured from the Louisiana Watershed Initiative and the Pontchartrain Levee District. There is improved communication and cooperation at all levels, local, state, and federal. Please do not jeopardize this progress. Thank you.
Lori Brumfield.
I was wondering, can somebody tell me whose brilliant idea it was to bring in Bill Rue? I'm serious. All right. Well, he's not here, so obviously he's not as serious as you are. But anyhow, this is what I wanted to just bring to everybody's attention if they don't know. Before Clint ever came in the office, I think 4 or 5 years, I don't know, it's been a while. If you watch Channel 21 in Ascension Parish Council meetings, he was always here. He went to more meetings than most of these people up here. He came and he stood up for y'all and me. He defended us on a number of things, not just drainage. There were many, and I guarantee if you go back, you will see him sitting in the front row of nearly every meeting, council meeting, drainage meeting, whatever. Well, that's dedication. That is who I want to represent me, because see, he wasn't even getting paid. He was here representing us on his own time. He wasn't getting paid, and he wasn't being paid. He came here to represent every one of us in this parish on his own time for things that we didn't even know about. So if he thinks we need a director, I'm good with it. Whatever he thinks, I believe that he has got my best interests at heart, and he's got everybody else in Ascension Parish best interests at heart, because he's been fighting for us longer than most of y'all know. He showed up to all these meetings on his own and stood up for us. So, and a lot of y'all weren't even at your own meeting. You weren't even there. So I go with dedication, and I believe whatever he thinks is right for us is right for us, because I haven't seen it yet. I don't like the heads down, and I don't like people turning around, putting their backs to me. And that's just how I feel about all that. Thank you.
Kelly Couture.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to first thank my councilwoman for her past assistance. I want to thank all the council members who have heard their constituents' complaints and concerns. It is much appreciated. I have spoken at 2 meetings in the last month. It has become clear to me that for the most part I am not heard. None of the citizens who spoke were heard, or we were just ignored. On the 17th, 30-plus citizens spoke for President Coitman's 12-month moratorium. 8, all developers spoke against it. And then you, the council, did what you had planned to all along. You voted for your amended 9-month moratorium. Do you think we, the people, can't see through your so-called compromise? 2 council members were heard before the meeting discussing how they were going to vote. This is collusion. Many of you have a palatable hatred of President Coitman to the point that it can be compared to TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Call it CDS, Coitman derangement syndrome. This is not helpful to the parish you were elected to serve. We are a complete embarrassment in the whole Baton Rouge area, particularly due to one councilman. I had planned to spend my 3 minutes tonight expounding on the faults and failures of all council members. Call it a Harper Valley PTA on you all. Then I read President Coitman's latest letter and apology, and I rethought it. So back to the matter at hand. There was absolutely no reason that there was needed to be an emergency meeting tonight. I was originally going to speak against this plan, but instead I will listen to our president and support searching for and hiring a highly qualified professional to manage drainage. I do not support this happening tonight or to hire Mr. William Rue. Nothing against the man personally, as I have never met him, but he was retired from the position. He did not fix the problems when he had the job as parish employee for 17 years. And in fact, in 2009, Mr. Rue said the drainage should fall under the parish president for a number of reasons. And something is quite fishy. Stinks of a sewer, that he created his LLC the very same day, just hours before the announcement of this meeting. A meeting that the vice chair knew nothing about, much less knowing anything about the planned agenda. Shouldn't the committee hold meetings discussing this idea with all members before announcing a new division and paid positions? I wonder if the major changes that you are proposing should go to a vote. And how can Mr. Rue be contracted without this going to an open bid? You love studies, but no study was done to determine the best qualified. As of this time, President Coitman is doing an outstanding job managing the drainage for better than Mr. Rue in the past. Let him continue to do it until the right drainage director and drainage engineer can be found and hired. In conclusion, please listen to the citizens. Listen to our parish president, who is willing to work with the council. He wants to do the job we elected him to do. Let him do it. All of you, the council members and the president, work for us, the citizens of Ascension Parish. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sonny Edwards.
Connie Edwards.
Sonny
Edwards, I'm sorry. Thought I seen the C.
Gentlemen and young lady. First thing I'd like to address is I think this meeting was called here, and the agenda that's supposed to be on the table is a travesty. We the people voted y'all into office to be a spokesperson for us as a representative for our each and individual districts. How many of you have asked us what we think about what needs to be done? Nobody that I know of. It's hard to follow behind such good people that's got up here to talk. The sea of blue to represent you. We all are here for the same agenda, majority of us, is to denounce this. This should be tabled. This agenda should be tabled to put back, to think about, to bring everybody together, to vote on this, and to see what it is. Granted, we voted y'all into office to be our word and our voice. We voted the parish president into office to do his job. You're up here, according to what I'm seeing on the agenda, taking away some of his duties. Let him do the job he's voted for, that we voted for him to do. If he can't do the job, get rid of him. But he's doing the job, and he's doing it well. Leave him alone. Let him do his job. And I really have a question after the moratorium. I wasn't here for that meeting, but I did watch it on TV. How many of you are actually listening to what we are actually saying? How many of you are actually hearing what we're saying? Not just necessarily listening. How many are actually hearing it? There's only 3 people on this board that I respect in the fact that they actually listen to the people and they actually talk with the people. The citizens of this parish are getting fed up with a lot of stuff that's going on. Obviously, if you looked at Facebook, if you looked at a lot of the conversations that's going on, I believe, Mr. Lawler, you had about 500 people that commented on your posts that you did. None of it was good. I think the moratorium that the president asked for should be an indefinite moratorium until we get this drainage and the road structures brought up to date where they need to be. The road widths within the parish, I live on a road in this parish that has a split down the middle of that road of 2 different school districts. This one small road that's not even 20 foot wide, we have 6 buses that go down there every day. I think that needs to be taken care of as well. But obviously, y'all do what you need to do. We're going to do what we need to do.
Thanks, sir.
Teresa Robert?
Teresa Robert? Teresa Robert?
Pardon me? Good evening. The East Ascension Gravity District Number 1 was enacted as a subdivision of the state of Louisiana by the state legislature. It was tasked through state legislation and dedicated sales and ad valorem taxes that are paid by the citizens to be responsible for lawful drainage activities within the district, including the most important being the prevention of nuisance and structure flooding. Your plan to remove our elected parish president tonight as drainage director is irrational because he is the most qualified, knowledgeable, and experienced person to handle our drainage. Citizens are not fooled by the political games that you play. Taking this action will be recognized by citizens as a failure of councilmen to fulfill your duty under the guise of appointing a more qualified director. Voters elected you for the job and designated someone else to represent you on the 10-member EADC board would be another way to place blame on someone else. This plan creates the illusion that the council is not responsible for the drainage failure and the floods that are destroying our community. This same strategy was used to create the Planning and Zoning Commission, where you purposely appoint commissioners who approve high-density development without adequate infrastructure because of your allegiance to developers, not the voters. And then you claim the parish council is not responsible because the appointed commission made the decision. Each of you councilmen represent voters from one district. People across all 11 districts in Ascension Parish elected Parish President Quintemont because of their trust in his qualifications and commitment to stop the ongoing destruction residents have experienced for decades and to improve our quality of life by providing adequate infrastructure, which is needed to support responsible growth. Your first and foremost duty is to protect the health, safety, and welfare of all citizens, not just those from your district. Residents are here tonight to voice our support of and to object to the removal of Parish President Quintemont as Drainage Director tonight. Citizens elected you to solve our drainage problems, not to pass them off to another appointed person or commission who voters cannot hold accountable. While we understand the need for experts throughout the process to form a comprehensive plan, we expect our elected councilmen to make the decisions and the final plan to be carried out with the leadership of our elected parish president. President Lincoln's famous Gettysburg Address is as pertinent today as it was in 1865, quote, that government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from the earth, unquote. A majority of citizens still believe this to be true today, and we pray you also do. Residents are closely watching how you vote on this crucial issue tonight. I'd like to put my notes in the record and also this picture, please, from Lawler on Facebook. It's insulting to citizens that he put this up here calling us imbeciles of America with an upside down sign. This is who's representing us.
No, that's right, that's upside down.
Al Robert. Al Robert.
Just 3 more than one time.
I really like the new building. It's very nice. Glad to see y'all got the mic fixed so we can listen to it properly on TV. Glad to see everybody's head is picked up. Enjoy that. Clint Quinmont is a man for the job. If he needs help, he'll ask. He'll ask Bill Rue to help him. Bill Rue wouldn't be much help to what Clint knows, I promise you. I watched this meeting, the last drainage meeting, and the citizens came up one after the other. And a couple of council members asked more than once, tell us what you need, and we'll get it for you. Tell us what you want, and we'll get it for you. 3 minutes later, Clint asked for $200,000 for some monitors. Y'all didn't want to buy the monitors for $200,000. That doesn't make sense to me. It's ludicrous. But the next second, you voted to award a contract for $250,000 without asking any questions. So the man can do the job. Just give him the reins to do it. Thank you.
Dustin Kluwat.
Thanks for having me. I'm not speaking for or against this, as I think we really all don't know that much about it, to be honest with you. And absolutely nothing against Mr. Bill Rue. Is, I think, to echo Mr. Epps, saying Bill Rue did nothing is extremely unfair. But Ascension Parish deserves better than a governing authority more concerned about scoring cheap political points against their administration than doing the people's business. Tonight's agenda includes 4 items supposedly worked on for 3.5 years, according to one member, while others claim total ignorance of that effort. One of you aren't telling the truth. After the disaster of the 2016 flood proved how important it is that the drainage problems in East Ascension be addressed. 5 members of this body have served since 2016 and every day since. Sure, that was a historic rain event, but drainage issues threaten this parish every day. What have you accomplished to help this problem? In May, too many residents flooded while many others were threatened. Before the flood waters had receded, certain members of this body politicized that threat. The District 7 council member criticized the parish president for not cutting Alligator Bayou a day sooner than he did. But in fact, the cut was made within an hour of receiving the Corps of Engineers permit. He also took to calling the activation of the pumps to drain the Bluff Road Basin a political stunt that wasted taxpayers' dollars. In 2016, you seconded the motion to turn those pumps on. A very quick second at that. I'm gonna ask you, what's changed? It was the same play, you just don't like the new coach. District 4 councilman, mere minutes after abstaining from a vote to dredge a major drainage channel, you criticized the president for failing to dredge canals. Mere minutes after abstaining from a vote to dredge a major drainage canal, you criticized the president for failing to drain canals. Interrupting an interview with the Baton Rouge TV station at your behavior was both dishonest and hypocritical. Tonight's agenda items are more about settling political scores than fixing East Ascension drainage issues, and I think everyone in this room can see through them. If these are good ideas, and I'm not saying they're not, please give the people some time to consider them, and let's fairly listen to all of them. Jamming these items through at the 11th hour, when some of your colleagues know nothing what you're up to, just doesn't pass the smell test. Thank you for y'all's time.
Carl Benedict.
Good evening. I'm going to be relatively quick. I live in Bluff Oaks subdivision off of Bluff Road. We have been directly affected by the rain event back in May. We're just now seeing the water recede from our neighborhood as well as the Bluff Road swamp area. We appreciate the fact that President Quinmont was able to have the water recede from this area as quickly as it has. We always wish that it would be faster. However, this situation has been the same situation since the 16 flood, and virtually nothing has been done about it. Now, y'all have come up with this ill-conceived scheme of firing or removing President Quinmont from the drainage directorship. I think that's ill-conceived, and it is a scheme. So please do not vote for this proposal that y'all brought out tonight. Thanks.
Ms. Shola Johnson.
Thank you, Council. I would have to say that this particular meeting and the agenda items are shenanigans. My concern, just the challenge, it feels so bad as a citizen, a resident, to know what our neighboring parishes are thinking of us. It's embarrassing. After the last council meeting with the moratorium, with over 40 plus people addressing at you at the mic, with the same level of attention probably that you're giving us tonight, the majority had the card of support for the parish president, but you acted not to listen to the people. I'm very concerned that tonight, with the overwhelming majority of the people in opposition of what you're doing, you again are not going to listen. Your title, the fact that you're elected to be a councilman, does not give you a badge of leadership. The calling to leadership is earned. Character traits of leadership are empathy. You are not being empathetic to the cries of the citizens of the parish. Mr. Lawler, Mr. Ogeron, Madam Chair Casso from the meeting, there is a lack of transparency of what's going on between the last council meeting and the shenanigans that have happened with all the news. We have the Advocate here, WAFB is reporting. What is this looking like? This is not good. Transparency is a character trait. Integrity is a character trait. Empathy. We have to make sure that we're doing these things. You know what else is a character trait? Emotional intelligence. It's not healthy for our parish to have on the day of an agenda item on the East Ascension Drainage Board that someone post a Far Side comic that the citizens feel that it's representative of them, that you're calling them imbeciles. It's not right. It is going to take courage for you to vote against what you've brought here today. I hope someone on here has the courage when it's time to vote to say they would like to withdraw this resolution. Yes. The people are speaking. Bill Rue, I'm very familiar with Bill. Over the years, handshakes, hugs, and it was at all of the town meetings where he provided presentations about District 2. I have yet to see the timeline, Charlotte, it'll be done in 2 years. That was 6 years ago. It was never done.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you.
So that's everyone who said they wanted to speak.
Okay.
You want to read them? You want me to read them?
We good, we good. With that being, that's all the cards that we have that the people's,
Hang on.
you have it or you sent it up here?
All right, hang on. Hang on.
Well, go ahead and make your way up, Miss, it's Roulette? Yeah, all right.
Roulette. I've been in this parish since I was two and a half years old. I'm going to be 59 in September. We, as a parish, the majority of the parish voted for that man to do this job because we know his history and he knows land. He knows Ascension Parish. He grew up in this parish under his daddy's elbow doing land survey. He is the man for the job. When and if he needs help, he will ask for it and he will find the right people for the job. Bill Rue's a nice man. He's not a villain, but he's not competent to do the job because the job wasn't done in the 17 years he was in office. As far as all these studies, we've had studies for 40 years. No more studies. Go back and look at the studies that you have, pick the best stuff out of those studies and run with it. We're tired of spending money on studies. We're spinning our wheels. I don't like the way this hoorah happened here. Within 4 days, y'all come up with something, and half of the members don't know about it. BS, 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 BS. It's total shenanigans. Y'all need to stop that. We're in hurricane season. So far, we've been lucky. I'm praying for a drought. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm calling y'all out. Terry, you have the opportunity to save your political career. Cut your ties with them and run. You can save your political career. They're digging a hole and you're jumping in with them. Stop it. You can save your political career. But if I had the opportunity, if it was allowed, I would make a motion of no confidence for Corey Ogeron, Aaron Lawler, and Terry Casso, and I would demand that you be removed from the council.
Shelby Ballard. Shelby Ballard.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. First, let me say that there's a proposal that's before this gathering today, all of them, I do not support at all. In my opinion, Mr. Quintmeyer is doing an outstanding job. His interest is in the people of this parish. I have witnessed the backstabbing that has taken place, and all for your own personal political agendas. You are proposing to remove him from the drainage board and then replace him with the individual that worked for the parish for 17 years. The whole time he held the job, drainage problems that we are experiencing now, he sat by and did nothing to prevent. I witnessed drainage canals and ditches overgrow with trees and vegetation. The only dredging I've seen was about 2 months prior to the last council election that we had, thinking maybe that every 2 years we should have a council election that might wake some people up and help the situation. When I heard that the council plans to replace Mr. Quintmeyer with Mr. Rue, I decided to investigate, and maybe it's just a coincidence that Mr. Rue filed his LLC on June the 24th, 2021. I think not. The backdoor plot sort of smells to me. The axe job reminds me of the coup that took place a few years back on the Planning and Zoning Commission. The whole commission was abolished, and a hand-picked group of individuals were appointed with nothing but a group of yes men to satisfy the objective of the expansion. We now see the disaster this created. To quote Mr. Trey Gowdy, a former congressman from South Carolina, the primary purpose of government is to protect its citizens. I have not seen that with this council. You have not done what the citizens of this parish deserves, and as a voter and a taxpayer, I insist that you do what the citizens need. Thank you.
Ms. Pam Alonso.
Good evening. I keep hearing one word constantly, and that's politics or political. And that's something that people's homes being flooded, that word should not be involved. And what I have seen with these things that are being proposed tonight is political temper tantrums. People have put politics before people. And that's one thing that I think our parish president has not done. He has put people before politics. And I think that's what needs to continue to be done. So we want to jerk somebody away from a position where he's trying to fix things so people's houses don't continue to be flooded, while we do more studies, put somebody else in a position, maybe temporarily, that I didn't know the history, so I went back. I do not know Mr. Rue, so I cannot speak of Mr. Rue, but I can speak of what I could find in the record. I didn't see any movement at all in the 17 years he was there, in and out. But I did see that there has been more done when our current parish president has been on that board and taking care of things than I saw in 17 years. But by the three people that did put the things on the agenda tonight and call this meeting and go on TV and give interviews, you really exposed yourselves. You really showed the people of this parish what you're looking at, what you're made of, and what your agendas are. And you really aren't to be ashamed of yourselves. I urge you to leave Clint exactly where he is. Thank you.
Ms. Amber Earnhardt.
Thank you for letting me speak. I actually am freaking terrified right now. I'm terrified because of the hostile political environment. I actually came up here and I filled out a green card because I was going to support the agenda if the parish president had more involvement, a seat on the board, and was able to have the decision-making in who the qualified professional was, to try and quell some of the political hostility and remove the politics out of it. But then, while I was sitting here, I just squashed everything I was going to say because I read the parish president's remarks on Facebook, and I actually agree with him. I grew up here. My background is in film and television. I have no clue as how drainage works. But I know that if I was to sign on to this project and 90% of the problems that my community or the project needs is visual effects, I'm going to go hire a visual effects supervisor, even though I am super qualified to run that visual effects, but I still have to manage all the other departments, hair and makeup and props and art and everything else, and deal with the above the line crew. I can't give the bulk of what the project needs. Do you see what I'm saying? To keep the movie running smoothly, get it out on time, and get it out on budget. And I look at what we're facing right now, given where we live, given what the landscape looks like right now. People still have water at this point in their homes because of past neglect. The ideas that Mr. Melanson put on the board for a parish-wide overflow system, and what we're facing in the future due to a disappearing coastline. I mean, you guys are all aware that they see this area inundated with water from every storm surge in the not too distant future. Why? It doesn't make any sense to me that we don't have, a sciencey person that is here to help save the parish all the time and deal with water. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I do agree with going about it the way that he laid out on his Facebook page. So I support having a full-time, I would like to see a team of experts, but just going about it a different way to quell the politics and remove the politics from it.
Thank you.
So I just went back through the list. Is that everyone who wants to speak on item 4A? 4A.
Go ahead and state your name, ma'am.
Pardon me?
Go ahead and state your name.
Christina Guidry.
Please go
Good
ahead.
evening. I just want to say amen to those who have voiced their concern and have said no on this. Thank you. I'm proud to be part of these citizens who are knowledgeable and support our parish president. I think we're all guilty at times of looking for an answer before we hear somebody. So I'm asking, please listen before jumping to making your own decision. I'm hoping that you guys will be open in your decision. The definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting a different outcome. I think now I'm obviously have not been around since Mr. Rue has been here, but it looks like to me that might be insanity. But, you know, that's just my side that I see. In listening tonight, I'm going to make a suggestion, and that is Oz principle. I want you guys to look it up. It's great training. And then also, I just kind of wanted to, people are talking about the atmosphere, of council. So I want to tell you recently, just so you'll have an idea of my experience, recently on Facebook, I've been accused of being a Clint-sation, a sheep, and not ever have worked for government. So I want to address these things. Now, for me, I really don't care. It doesn't bother me, whatever. But I want the citizens to be aware of what the atmosphere is, and it is one of probably dismissal, disdain, and kind of a hostile work environment when we talk about the council with our parish president, who is carrying on despite not being backed by the council. And this is, the council works for the citizens. Those are your customers. So I hope you guys all have that open goal of the customers, not pitting one against another. So as far as backing Clint, I will tell you, in my education as mental health counselor, I don't look at somebody's previous assessment or diagnosis on a patient. I come up with that on my own. And so what that is I also do that in my voting for Clint. I had invited him to my home so that my neighborhood could get to know him and ask any questions. So I'm one who, I'm not gonna be a sheep. I'm actually gonna learn and do my due diligence. We're about out of time, but I just, on these things, please work together.
Mr. Charles Hebert.
Born and raised in Santa Monica, Louisiana. I'm proud of it. In my 80-something years, I've paid enough taxes to see something done properly. But I'd like to ask, how many of y'all have had a house that was flooded? One. When you go to the second round, you can make way better decisions than you can after the fact. So, I don't know if y'all paid attention to how many young ladies was up here and how they say, when mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. Really, I don't know if you can discount all the experience and the qualifications that the parish president has to do the drainage job. I mean, he done stomped through most everybody's backyard. He's been in the swamps, he's been over the streets, he's been over canal. I don't know that you're gonna find anybody better qualified. Now, you're talking about paying a man $140,000 a year, and then after you appoint somebody to replace him, you're talking about a $50,000 a year consultation fee. By the time y'all get out of office, y'all will spend almost $1 million on just somebody to do the job when we got the man here. Really, everybody's got their own opinion. I would like to just offer something in to give y'all something to think about, not just condemning the problem. I think if the 3-4 parishes would get together, drain Manchac Bayou, put pumping station, pump it in the river, it wouldn't solve everybody's problem, but it would be a big help. And I think Manchac drains from the Amite River. You get a lot of people from Denham Springs, Baton Rouge, Gonzales, us. So anyway, I don't know if y'all really paid attention to what most of the people are saying. They just want to get something done. They want to protect their houses. Can't blame them. And I know y'all got a hot potato to deal with, but that's what y'all ran for.
Thank you, Mr. Charles.
I'll turn on my mic, I'll run through the names.
Go, brother, where we go? Chase is gonna read the ones that didn't want to speak, the names that didn't want to speak. Keep going.
Go ahead. I'm gonna run through the red cards first. Everyone who filled out a red card but did not want to speak. Colin Porter, Rhonda Porter, Anthony Campo, Ronnie Fontenot, Patricia Cook. You got two, I'm sorry. Barry Blaylock, Mildred Blaylock, Terrence Zarain, John Murphy, Leslie Guillot, Jolynn Kurz, Jeannie Robert, Catherine Melanson, Rhonda Fridge, Sandra Matthews, Mark Matthews, Mike, I don't know how to say Mr. Mike's last name.
Langbaugh. Naturally.
Mike Latterley. We don't have many of those in Santa Monica.
Got one in Prairieville.
Lisa LaBeouf, Willie LaBeouf, Donna Edwards, Mary Bordelon. Do I have another Lake Elementary teacher here? No? Okay. Jason Bordelon, Stacy Villeneuve, Benny Drago, Cindy Steyer, Alfred Goday, Morgan LeBlanc, Chip LeBlanc, Mildred Burnett, Jill Michel, Tamara Gregoire, Casey Hale, Richard Jordan, Vicki Johnson, Tracy Yos, Randall Howard, Mr. Ike Jackson, Tony Vaughn, Nicole Fall, Carrie Brown, Mike Brown, Desiree Bizenot, Austin Bizenot. You want to say that right? Yeah. Okay, Bizenot. Anina Opperman, Rebecca Parks, Shayna Fridge, Barry Marchand, Bernadine Howard, Janie Ryland, Suzanne Bourgeois, Cindy Quick, and for the green cards who did not wish to speak, Mr. Darrell Wagerspack, Sean Dardo, Mr. Marty Martin.
I would ask at this time, did we miss any cards or anyone else wishing to speak? If not, we're gonna go back to the resolution.
I would like to speak, Chair.
We'll have discussion. Mr. Chase.
I want to just start off before we get to the vote on item 4A. As most people know by now, we took a trip to Harris County. It was a fabulous trip. We learned a bunch of things, and one of the things we learned is that they have a hydrologist and a meteorologist who kind of form their A-team at the top of their drainage pyramid. Those people answer to the elected officials, and it's not what's being it's not what is being proposed here tonight, but it is a lot different than how we currently operate. And they had these two phenomenally smart people who we spent 2 days with going through and everything. And since that trip, Parish President, Mr. CAO Diaz, and Mr. Ron Savoy, current DPW Director, we've had conversations about, look, if we could possibly gain support to bring in a hydrologist and or a meteorologist, depending on what our floodplain management, plan that we're working on comes in right now, and how big a salaries that does come with, because the salary is a tough part, because we're fighting industry. We're fighting the refineries and the petrochemical plants, so to get these smart people, you have to pay high salaries. And to be honest, amongst our conversations is we didn't think that the commission would want to hire, two such people to come in, oversee, run the day-to-day, and pay, salaries that could possibly be more than a CAO and just under a parish president. So I could tell you with my conversations, I don't know if he still feels the same or not, but I mean, this is ideas that we've talked about. In my personal opinion, the parish president has got his fingers in a lot of jars on the day-to-day. It would be great, for someone to come in and work under him and report to this commission. And at that point, if the commission's still not satisfied with the arrangement, you can always come back and take this very drastic action. I can't tell you, I don't think you can ever take the politics out of this, because this would be the potential third time that this commission has changed how we do drainage. In 2007, it went from the current way, and then it went to a drainage director, and then 2 years later, I see my predecessor, Mr. Randy Kluwat, right there. They reversed it back to the current process we had right now. And speaking with Mr. Randy, he gave me a lot of reasons of why he did that and why he still believes it's the same. So I know a lot of people are going to have opinions, but I'm all for bringing smart people in here. I do feel like not everyone, almost everyone who has reached out, to me, phone calls, emails, all that good stuff, they feel as the citizens, registered voters who put all of us here, that a lot of people respect the drainage side of what Clint, parish president, wants to do, and you feel like you may get shortchanged here tonight. And I will tell you one thing, and there's blame to go everywhere. Everyone sitting on this commission, and as we sit as a governing authority, all 11 of us, and parish president as well, we have some serious personality issues. And please. And look, I can tell you, I have sat in meetings with everybody up here and everybody sitting in that booth over there. 9 times out of 10, we all want the same thing. We just got different ways we want to go about it. And that's a two-way street, So there's been some criticism of parish president, and parish president hasn't always been wide open with us as well, So that's a two-way street. And as elected officials, we deserve, whenever we inquire about information from administration, I think we deserve that. And so and he sent out an email today, and I hope it's the first step in relationship, men's, I don't know. But I can tell you, we spend more time dealing with personalities and things that we shouldn't be dealing with than we do on actual business. 80% of my energy goes to dealing with personalities, and I believe we should all do better. And look, I'm not any less guilty than anybody sitting up here. We operate as a 10-person body. We have an administration. This is all of our fault. The reason y'all are here and the reason y'all feel the way y'all do. Look, I'll tell you right now, if the last thing I'll say, if we don't change administration, the governing authority in this commission, the best thing that we can do is simultaneously sign 12 letters of resignation. And I truly feel like that, so. Now, with that being said, I would like to offer a substitute motion to table this because I believe administration has some of the same goals that this agenda has tonight. And I'll offer a motion to where we can get together and see if there's some kind of middle ground that the commission, administration can, if they can come together.
We'll hold on to the motion. We have another speaker. Mr. Lawler.
Yeah, thank you. It was good to hear that there are conversations going on about what happened in Harris County. In the future, I'd like to be a part of those. Maybe we wouldn't have gotten to this point. Just saying. This idea is not solely or even primarily related to the current parish president or his handling of drainage. None of the issues that I'm going to talk about tonight are associated uniquely with this parish president. It's common to all that have held the presidency. I'm discussing general problems associated with having a politician in charge of the day-to-day operation of drainage. Chase was right, we cannot eliminate politics, but we can greatly reduce its impact on drainage, because drainage should not be about doing favors for councilmen or doing favors for campaign supporters. It has to be about doing what's right, and right for drainage. And sometimes that's a tough decision when you have to tell somebody that the problem that you're calling me about is really not a problem that we can spend resources on, and it's going to aggravate some people, and you may lose a vote for that, but you have to make those tough decisions, and it's very hard if you're worried about your next election. I've had drainage employees over the past 6 years. Once again, this is not all about this administration, I want to be clear, but have told me that they were prohibited from doing work in certain councilmen's districts by the parish president. They've said that they could not meet with some council members to discuss drainage because they were not allowed. That's what happens when you have a politician in charge, and we're trying to avoid that sort of thing. Efficiency. When crews are moved around, it requires time and money, neither of which are unlimited. So when crews are moved from one part of the parish to the other for political reasons, because somebody called and said, hey, they really need something, that's wasting our time and money that could be better spent on completing jobs. Because anybody that's in industry knows that when you have to mobilize and then demobilize, it costs money. New ideas. During my time on the council, all 6 years of it, high-ranking drainage employees have been excluded from planning and brainstorming processes and have been intimidated into agreeing whatever the parish president wants to do. That is not what we need. We need to foster an environment that encourages a healthy exchange of ideas and even disagreement with the person in charge. It's reasonable to disagree. That's how better ideas are brought about. But if people are afraid for their jobs, they're not willing to bring up ideas, or sometimes they're just not allowed to bring anything up because they're excluded from the meetings. Time. And we've heard something about this already. The charter provides that the parish president is charged with the day-to-day operations of utilities, transportation, recreation, human resources, mental health, mosquito, etc. Drainage is a separate entity by design. There's a reason it's separate, because the day-to-day operations of drainage require, and I would even say deserve, or maybe that's backwards, deserve and require, whatever it may be, 100% of the CEO's time. To do a complete job, you need 100% of the time. And we have transportation, recreation, all of it. The parish president can't be spread that thin. It's not the parish president's fault. It's the way things are set up. The future. Now, I know many of us here were not pleased with the last administration. We didn't like how they handled the day-to-day operations of drainage, but there's no guarantee that the next person that's elected president will be qualified to run drainage. Leadership of drainage should not be left to chance or a popularity contest or just a random election. It's too important. Other parishes, as we've heard, Harris County specifically, because some of the people on here have visited that, have qualified individuals running drainage. I prefer that we control our future and hire the best informed, most qualified, and imaginative CEO for drainage. Another issue is continuity. Every 4 years, when there's a new president and there's a new mix of council, the priorities change. And that's not good for anything like drainage. As many of y'all know, a drainage project's life is generally more than 8 or 10 years. Laurel Ridge Levee is taken, Randy will tell you, it's taken forever. And it's not the fault of the council or the president in charge of it. Drainage projects take a long time. So we need to have continuity in government in planning when it comes to drainage. Now, if this plan is approved, we will hire an interim CEO, Bill Rue, as y'all all know, who worked at EADC, who will work with EADC, that's us. And I think the president will work towards a seamless transition if we do this. Because if we make this a difficult transition, if this goes forward, it's not going to be good for anybody. Also, if this plan is approved, we're talking about a maintenance plan for collector channels. If we approve this, we can expect that within 4 months from now, and we'll start upon regulatory approval. An actual maintenance plan, something that we have been looking for a long time. The EADC will work to accomplish the goals of the moratorium, and we will reach out to the president to work with him on this important mission. The timeline was not important with the moratorium, 9 months, 12 months. The goal is what was passed in that moratorium, the goals of that. And this commission, this group, is going to work towards those goals. That's the most important part of the moratorium, and we're going to get that done. Finally, I've already been in conversations with several people on the council, and I've been in conversations with Mr. Rue about established neighborhood drainage program. It's a program because we have a lot of problems within established neighborhoods that are older, that don't have either the level of drainage that they should because of age and deterioration, or they weren't developed to have that type of drainage. So the plan is that instead of going by work orders and cleaning out a ditch here and a culvert here, we're going to go in and identify the neighborhoods that need it the most, identify the causes of the drainage problems within the neighborhood, and I'm talking the entire neighborhood, including outfalls, and then find the best, most economical way to fix the entire neighborhood, and then we're going to apply that solution to the neighborhood. Now, we have the funds to do this. It's come in. What I'm looking at is a 5 to 8 year plan that we put millions of dollars into it a year to help older neighborhoods. And if you combine what we're doing here with what I propose to do here with what we've talked about with the moratorium, and that's improving the drainage on new subdivisions, improving the studies, making it better, you're going to have a really good combination of older neighborhoods are going to get fixed. All those established neighborhoods, we're going to fix those, and then when the new ones come in, we're going to make sure that they're not affecting the older ones next to it. So that's what we can expect if we do this. Thank you for your wonderful respect.
Please, please.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Mr. Robert?
We started off tonight, Mr. Randy Kluwat came up. He's a member of Pontchartrain Levee District, one of the people responsible for getting us to this project for the Sorrento pumping station. He made a very good point. He said that we need, as we're working on these regional projects, someone representing the people with conviction and someone representing the people with accountability. Now that would be the parish president. Followed up with him, Kathy Edmonston, a representative from the state, comes up. She shows us same evidence of this same problem we could have by changing this. Signed by Ed Price, Clint Quintmall, Senator Lambert, Representative Scheck-Snyder, also Speaker of the House, actually, Representative Tony Bacala, Representative Kim Brass, Representative Kathy Edmonston, Chairman Dempsey Lambert, Mayor Barney Arsenault, and Mayor Mike Lambert. So what does that make us, as the Drainage Board, look like whenever we take our representative from this project from being the representative of this project? Now, do we, as a council, not realize that we do not need to hire people? We don't need to appoint people. Denise Drago points out a very valid point. We've got 3 branches of government for a reason. It's all about checks and balances. We've got our legislative branch to control the purse, make our laws, ordinances. We've got the executive branch to enact actually put people to work, actually put feet on the ground. And we've got the judicial system to, overrule any vetoes from the president, who can veto our things, for example, something like this. But anyways, we do not need to hire people. We do not need to direct people. It's not our job. I mean, if we really want to do it that much, we could probably, I know McDonald's has those little management programs. You could get over there and you could probably get up and hire pretty quick and direct some people in your part-time. But this is not the place to start in a parish government. And as Jeremy Epps says, this has happened before. And what happened then? It switched right back to the parish president, okay? Now, I may be incorrect, but I sensed a little undertone in what Mr. Epps said after that. He said, so I guess we'll just have to switch back after the next 2 years at the next election, which means for that to happen, we'd have to replace several people on the council who did vote in order, and then Clint would still be here, a few of us will still be here, and we'll go right back to it. And we're going to move forward back on these projects. And I mean, we'll have to backpedal a little bit on the stuff we do lose if this goes through. But I mean, I'm willing to work through it. I know Clint is. I know several of my council members are. Tim Babin. I talked to Tim, Mr. Tim, actually through text message. And I've known him for my whole life. And he got up here and he told us he is mad as hell and not going to take it anymore. I've seen some sweet ladies, nice elderly ladies up here that were mad and yelling at me, and I get it. I get it. We should not make sweet little ladies that mad. It's not our job to do that.
I haven't seen anybody under 40. I don't know what the elderly lady he's talking about.
You mean over 40, Jason.
Huh?
Over 40.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody over 40. That's what I mean.
Hey, look, don't say I don't have your back.
The people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, period. You see everybody here tonight. You heard all the people that didn't talk that are against it. I mean, how many people did we have speak tonight? I lost count. I was kind of keeping tabs, but I kind of don't pay attention for a second, and I forget to write names, so I forget. But I know there's a lot. There's a lot of people for it. We had 3 cards, 4 cards. I mean, a lot of people against this, I'm sorry. 3 or 4 cards for this. 5. I'm sorry, 5. Okay. Okay, so let's look at Rebecca. She was here at the last drainage meeting where the people asked us to work together, asked us to make progress, asked us to do things. As we had people that were flooding currently and had flooded the weeks before and of, begging us to do something and begging us to work together. And I didn't really put that, it didn't set or resonate as well until she got up here and she said, well, what did y'all do? What have we done since then? We definitely didn't work together. We didn't do anything with any, well, the president did. He started dredging. He started doing stuff, Once again, I'm going to have to disagree with a couple of my fellow councilmen. I disagree with Chase and Aaron. We can take the politics out of this. It's not that simple. I mean, we're elected. Y'all elected us. It's not a kind of gray. I'm pretty sure it's 98 or 99.2% against the rest. I mean, I see what to do. He was elected for this position. And we want to take him away because we don't want to have the politics involved. So instead, we're going to remove one elected official who's directing these people, and we're going to put 10 of them. So this one person we're going to hire is now concerned about his job by keeping us happy, right? So, I mean, that's going to be fun. And then who has the power plays and who has this and that at this point in time? And, I mean, how can you have one person listening to 10 people? You can, but they're not going to accomplish anything, Let's look at accomplishments. Bill Rue This is what Miss Lori Brumfield. Bill Rue is not here tonight. Personally, I like Bill. I think Bill's a great guy. In fact, me and my son were riding dirt bikes and waved at him the other day, past his road. He's a constituent of mine. But Bill's also a very smart guy. He did a lot of studying. He helped the parish out with some of those studies that we have today and are currently able to use. The thing that Bill did not or was not known for was action. You know, he always looked at the different factors, and I get it. I mean, when you study and you study, if you make a decision, you could negatively affect a lot of stuff. But, 17 years, was it? And what projects were done? What was really done or accomplished over that time? I mean, I know one of the biggest things that we have in this parish is the Marvin Bro pumping station. That's the start of something. That's the start. You know who was one of the main people that are responsible for that? His father, Willard Quintmall. Now, since then, what have we really done? Okay, now, we need someone qualified to do this. Okay, so why don't we have someone that surveyed 80% of the property in the parish? That sounds pretty qualified. Now, do we need some more professionals? Do we need some more scientists? Do we need this? Do we need that? Probably not. We probably need some more people working, some more contracts to get some stuff done. But if we do, let the president bring it to us, bring it before the board. We can vote on it. We can put it on proper bid law. We can do whatever we want with him. It's his job to do that. Now, I want to look at some action, some stuff that has happened the last 2 years, and some projects that have gone for years and have been thought of. 1982, the Laurel Ridge Levee Project. That's when that was started. That's when that was started discussing and putting together. 1982. I was 2 years old. And in the last 2 years, we have finally gotten to the place where we can move forward with that project. Okay? 1994, New River dredging. That's whenever DOTD suggested that. That's when that project started. We started trying to get permits, movement with that. 1994. That's a long time ago. 27 years? Okay. Well, we started that 2 weeks ago, right? Since y'all asked us to? Bridges on 22. Gapping to allow drainage. The Sorrento pumping station, along with tying into the Marvin Bro levee. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars being spent currently on projects that are being done currently, in the motions, boots on the ground. But we want to stop that? Now, I'm going to go to the last meeting with the moratorium. And I'm not going to even go to the voting part. We're beyond that for now. But I want to talk about what I observed. As everybody in this room was praising Clint Quintmall for what he was doing and what he has been doing, I could feel like the heat and like I could hear the boiling of blood of some of my colleagues. I really did. And after such, social media, it makes it worse. I mean, they're mad, they're angry. I get it. This is not what we do. Now Clint, he made a little, and I don't blame him. I would have done worse, but he didn't really, agree with our 9-month compromise. And I say 9-month compromise because I mean we made it as a body, but I got that. But since then he's come to terms and realized, well, he's got to do what he's got to do. And in this 9 months, if we don't change that and if we can't fix that, he's going to work with us and he's going to move forward. Now, what do some people do? They latched onto that. That little itty bitty speck of something that could be bad. And it's turned into this emergency meeting where we need to appoint Bill Rue. And we need to spend an extra $100,000 on somebody, not to mention $50,000 retainer on top of the other $100,000 we're going to have for them. And when they retire, they're also retainer and consulting fees that are being directed by 10 people that shouldn't be directing anybody unless they apply for that job at McDonald's, which I'm telling you, they have a really good management system. But let's just take a step back. Let's actually take a deep breath. I'm not going to mention any names of who I'm talking about. I'm not. And I don't want y'all to mention the names because that's not what it's about. We're here tonight to accomplish something. I pray, I hope that listening to all of these people, seeing all of these people, seeing those cameras right there looking at us, make this decision. I mean, there's not going to be 10 letters of resignation because I'm going to vote against this and I'm not going to resign. But the people that do vote for this probably should, because if not, they will be recalled, and then that would be worse.
Mr. Turner? Mr. Turner?
I wish I do agree with Chase as for this tabling this, because I think right now is this too charged and it was too soon after the vote from the moratorium. I think we need to have a cooling off period to have both sides get together and try to discuss this and come to some type of happy medium. Because I don't really think there should be winners and losers in this, because everybody in the parish, and I think everybody up here, wants what's best for the parish. You just may have different views on how to get to that point, but I think everybody does have the best interests at their heart. So that's why I do think we should just maybe push it back to next month's meeting, maybe, and let the sides get together and try to just talk and work it out.
Mr. Mason?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to echo what Travis and Chase said. I mean, I know talking to President Quintmall that he does want to have somebody come in. I mean, he wants to get a smart guy, as he called him, somebody smarter than all of us, to come in and look at our drainage issues and then get a drainage engineer to come in. So I think since that's, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, why does this have to be accomplished with an interim CEO? That's what I don't understand. That's what I can't wrap my head around. So my biggest thing for me personally is, we were talking about, Aaron, I heard you talk about qualified people, putting qualified people in the position. And my question is, what makes Bill Rue qualified to be an interim CCO? Because he's done it before. I mean, we have some past parish presidents that have done it before that I don't think we'd want to do them again. So with that being said, and that's not a shot, I mean, I guess it is, I'm sorry. But with that being said, I agree with Travis and I agree with Chase, and I think that if we can just hold this off for a little while, let's go out with the nationwide search, best practices, like my friend Aaron preaches, best practices, nationwide search. Let's find some good people. They're out there. And they're probably looking at us going, we can go down there and help those guys. And we can do this right. And let everybody be involved. And let everybody have a voice. Let everybody have an opinion. And let's do this right. And if we do this right, I think that everybody might actually be happy for once. This could be like sewer part 2. So, but there is one person I do want to hear from, and I'm sorry I'm calling you out, but Ron, do you have anything you want to say about this? That's fine. That's fine. As long as Ron gets to talk.
I was going to address this very first in my comments because I listened a lot about qualifications and smart people, and I just want the people of this parish to know, and it is, and I'm telling you, it is very important. Ron Savoy is the most honest, hardworking guy I know. He took a 2,000 backlog work order and took care of it in 6 months. All the accomplishments that we had in 18 months, we dealt with COVID for 9. We had one person per DPW truck. The leadership that Ron Savoy brings to this parish, I have never witnessed in another DPW director. This is a guy that I would get in the trenches with and go to war, because I know that when my back is turned, he's got it. And yes, we do need some very smart people to come in and look at our field ordinance, look at 2D modeling, look at these things that we're just not accustomed to, and we need a nationwide search to get it. But when it comes to getting things done, I'll put Ron Savoy up against anybody, and that's a fact.
So is my mic on?
Yeah.
But y'all gonna give me my time. I got a little bit more than 3 minutes. Now, y'all hold us to a standard every time we come to a drainage meeting. Every time. And you want a cost benefit, a PowerPoint on every meeting we give you guys. Where's your PowerPoint? Where's your documentation? Now, I'm telling you right now, I don't have time to come over here and PowerPoint every item that I bring to East Ascension Drainage District. But I tell you one damn thing, my employees at the pumping station right now, and you ain't going to go fight any hurricane that this parish gets delivered to you without them. And what y'all are doing, you might say it's not about y'all, it's not about your employees. And Aaron, you look at me like you're doing. You told me you got a choice to make. If you pick the right side, you'll see about it. That's the kind of things you don't deal with. You shouldn't have that going out to employees. And I'm telling you, I've laid it out on the line, and I made a very, very hard decision to even talk about this tonight. And I'm telling you right now, I need every member of my team to fight for this parish. And you want to talk about accomplishment? Let's go back. You talked about moving this parish forward in old neighborhoods. We just finished Wallace Acres. Buxton subdivision, every house in that subdivision flooded. I went out there and cried with those people. I sunk a tractor pumping water for them. We saved them in 2016. I had to go back when the sun was shining and tell those people, you're going to lose everything you got. And after that, we went and refurbished every ditch in Buxton subdivision. Mr. Kluwak can tell you how many times he called me about that project. And it was quite a bit of money. It wasn't no cost benefit in it. But I tell you one damn thing, ain't a house one flooded after I did that project. My guys got that done. Now, is there things we're going to not fix? Yeah. Harrison County, $3 billion budget. And they flooded not long ago, I'd be willing to bet you. So I might lose my job over this. And that's okay. My heart and my soul says if my morality has to be challenged to do my job, then you guys, I'm walking. And I'm not going to do that. Now, I'm going to tell you another thing. I got the copy of the budgets when Mr. Rue left, and I respect the hell out of Mr. Bill Rue. He came here in 2001. I started in 2000 as a laborer with a flagger, and that's my college education right there. This governmental entity is my life. I built my home. I raised my kids here. And I raise a lot of employees from hardly anything, and I've got a hell of a team. Now, I'm telling you right now, there's not a parish in the state, or maybe even a state in the United States, that's not challenged with Mother Nature's delivering us today. Not one. So don't come over here and tell these residents you're going to fix everything, because there's some things that you're just not going to fix. Now, let's go a step further into capital projects. You go back to 2017, and what was on the books, Laurel Ridge Levee Extension. That one's been on the books since 2008 probably. It's on the way to being bid at the end of this year. History, it's on the way. Mr. Randy's on the Pontchartrain Levee District. We've been talking about this for forever, and it's about to happen. It's going to change history. Muddy Creek Drainage Improvements, that's completed. Bluff Swamp Fish Bayou Project that was on the books in 2016, 2017, it's bid. It will be done as soon as these waters get back to safe levels. Conway and Panama, it's a backwater event. The project that we have on the books right now would make it feasible to go and dredge. But if you dredge a backwater event system, you're going to bring water to your residents faster. So it doesn't make sense to do that at this time. That was on the books in 2017. In 2021, there's a project to make a levee and a pumping station that would enable dredging in that whole system. Change the dynamic of the southern end of this parish. The Corps of Engineers permitting. I hear that. And again, I don't mean disrespect to anyone. But when Mr. Rue retired, I was left with a lot of challenges. One, I had no idea what I was doing. Nothing. I didn't know anything about capital projects, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't have a Corps of Engineer permit for anything. I got over 20 of them now. And so you talk about doing things and getting permits, and I'm not saying he didn't on major projects, but I can tell you right now, I didn't have anything to work with, and I had to pave the way for the future for this parish. And I did. I pulled up some permits and went and got some. A couple of them are Henderson Bayou, Buret Ditch, Boudreaux Bayou. They're all in the Galvez area. And they drain a lot of 42 and Abbey James Road, a lot of things are in the works for permitting. But you mentioned the maintenance program, and we're getting asked a lot of questions about what we're doing and where we're doing it at and why we're doing it. So you guys have picked up a floodplain management project. That is, I agree with you guys. I think that is a great project. I just had Mr. John come up to me talking to me about Fish Bayou, and Alligator Bayou in the Bluff Swamp. I can tell you right now, me and the president walked out in hip boots all day Friday, because we want to know what happens out there. I didn't know those things. I had to go out there and physically witness what this flood is telling us. And Mr. John just comes up and tells me he's got an idea for that swamp. And it validates exactly what we just walked and witnessed. But without us walking that swamp, he doesn't know if what his idea is will work. So you're right, we do need to communicate. We do need to work together. So I think that paves the way for the next capital project improvement plan for your next 5, 10, 20 years. Now, you guys talk about bringing in a professional. Mr. Rue would be great. I'm not saying that he's not a good idea. But to come up here and do what you guys are doing the way you did it made me question why we're here. And I don't do business like that. And it really hit home to me to really weigh it out. Do I stay here and decide one way or the other? Because that's about what you're proposing, is we're going to divide and separate. So that's a decision that I really don't want to face. But I will if I have to. A few other things about these neighborhood projects, cost-benefit analysis and things like this. If that's the way we want to work on things and do them, I'm okay with that. But let's start with what you guys already started with the floodplain management plan. Let's start there with the main highways and work our way out. I think that's where we're headed. And I know there's been a lot of talk about wanting council members to be part in those steering committee meetings. And you know, the more and more that I think about that, it's not a bad idea. But you got the East Ascension Drainage Chairman and the Vice Chairman sitting on that committee. And my point to bringing that up is this. I don't know very many questions have been asked at these drainage meetings in depth about what that project is doing. And so that's how you guys should be participating, because we don't need to micromanage everything. If we can have your guys' comments involved with the process that takes place, the end project will be your plan. And so, you know, with that, to say that, I will tell you this. I'm proud as all get out to be where we are and what we do for this parish. I'm not going to tell these residents that we're going to save everybody from flooding. And I just ask that you have trust and instill in us, and let's mend these relationships, because if we don't, you're going to lose a lot more than a form of government. And I hope that we can all come together and move forward. I just ask you guys to think about that when you make your decision tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert.
Mr. Dow?
Man. How y'all doing tonight? Y'all don't hear too much from me. You'll never catch me on Facebook. It's not my thing. I don't like it. It breeds hatred. Chase is right. It's been on both sides of this, and it has to stop for me. It has to stop. And I implore everybody up here to stop. So I wrote something out because I can't speak when I'm emotional, but I wanted to take a moment tonight to explain my thoughts about the current decision that we have in front of us. Before I go into that, I want to thank the hardworking employees in our drainage department. Ron, I appreciate the hell out of you. You know it. I tell you all the time. They work diligently to keep water moving before, during, and after rain events. DPW is full of talented, experienced, hardworking people that are ready to get this job done. I did write this. My wife edited it. Full disclosure. I just want everybody to know. This challenge did not just materialize in the past couple of weeks or even in the past couple of months due to the rain event on May 17th that have affected some areas and homes adversely. I would think that this has existed long before the 2016 flood. The truth is not that our home we love so much, Ascension Parish, is very challenging to drain, and many factors attribute to this challenge. Multiple parishes, challenge for capacity in natural waterways, relatively flat land that sometimes makes the water work extra hard to get out. Winds and tides that make it tough to get it to the end of the line. So, recently extreme localized rain events that are tough to pinpoint, even with the most sophisticated prediction tools. I've spent the better part of the past 6 weeks educating myself on drainage in my district and the parish. It started on Saturday after the May 17th event, with a constituent traveling my district, walking and understanding the challenges of the Goudin system, which seems to move water too slowly towards New River and Bayou Francois. I've also spent time on the Ridge Road visiting with the residents to understand the challenges of the Bluff Swamp. Their situation is a heartbreaking one, which has been affected by an evolving tri-parish area that drains through their backyard. Any path forward for this department has to identify local and regional projects that will evaluate solutions to help them. We have to try to work harder to reach our neighbors for a unified approach. Our drainage district has been well funded for years. However, we continue to struggle to solve the tough issues that it faces. The money, together with positive intentions, should get us there, but the current setup is not getting us there. We have spent time in the past 6 months, and even before that, looking at what others around us do. We've all talked about Harris County. It has inspired me to challenge this board to put new initiatives in place. I think the parish president supports those initiatives. Although we do not have their money or their large staff, we can use their lessons learned to help our direction in the future. I sometimes believe that their organization is key. I skipped ahead because I looked up. Anyway, I sometimes believe we look at their projects and we see that as some of the answers. I look more at their organization, the way they're governed by a board of commissioners with a professional CEO. I think that's the key. A project planning division to identify, fund, and execute implementation of long, short, and medium-range projects to efficiently spend money we have and maximize the amount of state and federal funds we receive. We'll have to have a well-organized strategy on how to improve our drainage. We already have the maintenance arm. It's already here. Ron's here to execute that. I want him to have help. He's right. He doesn't have time to do PowerPoints. He needs help. I want him to have help. My decision-making process is based on a thorough process. I do a lot of analyzing and research, which keeps my mind in overdrive and keeps me up when big decisions are in front of me. I do appreciate everybody here speaking tonight. I don't only rely on that. I certainly don't rely on Facebook. I do talk to a lot of people. You can ask people in this community. I spend time to talk to them. I spend time in their living rooms. I do it. I reach out to people, and that's, I don't necessarily take a straw poll or do those things. I listen to everybody, and I tend to look to experts, or I tend to look to people with experience in this parish. So, I do want to know that moving forward, the parish president is involved on this board, has a seat at this board, has a vote on this board. Clint has a lot to offer, Mr. President. You have a lot to offer. I certainly want you to be involved. And look, I do have faith whatever direction is chosen, this board and administration will continue to work diligently to give the people of this parish a better product. The moratorium has already defined some direction on these objectives that we have to accomplish. I will continue to work hard, collaborate, and challenge all involved to promote positive change because I truly believe that this is what I was elected to do. A CEO with a board of directors actually does work. Corporate America proves it. It does work. So I appreciate you listening to my stuttering and, suffering through this, and I appreciate all your thoughts. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Okay, With that, we have a substitute motion to table on the resolution. Yeah, we had a motion and a second. So we're going to the substitute motion that Mr. Chase and
Was it a substitute motion or was it a motion? It's a substitute motion.
open up the voting. We're gonna vote on the substitute motion first, and then we'll vote on the resolution.
Substitute is exactly what, substitutes to defer.
To table
To
item
table.
4A.
It should be a motion.
The ayes have it. We'll vote on the original, the resolution. Mr. Robert? Need to vote.
This is the original motion to approve item 4A.
The yeas have it. Item B, approval to establish the position of CEO.
You gotta close the vote and vote.
Oh, there you go.
I think that works.
Which one? Sorted?
I think. Terry, do you hit end to vote? Do y'all know?
We did not understand what you said, what you just did. We don't know.
You just voted to take him off?
No. I'll call a recess.
Do we have to close the vote?
I didn't close, I ended it already.
Oh, okay. Go tell them, Denise. Well, if they would have been. No, we don't need a piece of crap. What is he talking about? She's not supposed to be addressing. Go get her.
Hold on, hold on.
We do have 4 voting speakers on item B.
Okay. Have we started the count? I'm looking for the countdown.
No, he's just clarifying.
Motion reconvened by Mr. Chase.
I'll make a motion to reconvene.
Second by Mr. Corey. Reconvene. Resolution A, the resolution has passed. Item A, Mr. Joy, or please state the remainder of the meeting.
All right, if I can have everybody's attention, please. We're requesting that order and patience be exercised. Let everybody do what they need to do on the council. Your cooperation and order is requested and needed. If it gets too out of order, you may be asked to leave the room, and we really don't want to do that. So please cooperate, let the panel explain what the last vote was, and we'll move forward and make progress in this meeting. But again, order in the room would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. With that, item A is passed. We're going on to B, the approval and establishment of the position of a CEO at the Ascension Parish Drainage District Number 1. Obligations, Ms. Terry?
Do we have speakers?
Certainly support that, Mr. Chair, but I don't have any comments at this time.
All right.
Do we have speakers on that?
Yeah, we
Yes.
have a couple of speakers.
Motion to open public hearing.
Motion by Mr. Chase, I'm sorry. Aaron, second by Mr. Chase. Ms. Gopper.
Is the speaker on? Great. Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
I have in my hand a document that this commission passed in November of 2007. Well, Mr. Rue was the director. It's about 85 laterals all through the parish and a map of where they're located. These laterals have been submitted by Mr. Savoy for the Corps of Engineers for comprehensive dredging of the entire parish. And if you haven't seen this list, I think you should look at it. You should look at your district. You should see where these laterals are. And then you can go and see what the condition they are now, and then see when they're finished what it looks like. It's really sad to me. I've worked alongside people in the parish and spoken to this council for many administrations and council members. I've even run for public office. But what happened tonight was a travesty. Slap in the face to the people, a gut punch. Mr. Cagnolati, I sure hope you realize what you just did to Gonzalez. They better know that you let them down tonight. We've been working hard with the council there, and the mayor, and the DOTD, and Mr. Savoy and this parish to try and solve the drainage problems in the city. You have really let us down tonight. Mr. Wagsback, I almost cried with you when you started crying. But when I heard your words come out of your mouth and I saw your vote, I knew you're not with the people. It really hurts. You're playing politics again. You don't understand what you just did. The trust has been broken before. It's very broken now. And when you do these kinds of things, you only assure that when the next election comes, you will not be sitting in those seats. I would like to place this document on the record, and I hope you all go look at it. And I just certainly hope that Mr. Savoy doesn't leave the parish. Thank you.
Ms. Pam Alonzo. Who's the next one? Kelly Kluat. Couture. Kelly Couture.
So I don't have a prepared speech this time. I'm very disappointed in what happened tonight. What a horrible, shameful night for Ascension Parish. We have 5 council members who just flat out decided to ignore the requests, the pleas of the people who elected them. I know there are several recall campaigns going on right now as we speak. So one of the things I was going to spend a few minutes speaking about earlier, and I decided not to do it, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. We have a certain council member, let me find it, who has been very shameful for the whole parish. He sent deplorable emails. He's gotten President Quintmon's face on when he was being live interviewed on the news. He's turned his back on citizens while we were speaking. He's threatened to leave the room on occasion. He misses meeting and then's hold up other meetings asking questions due to not being at a previous meeting. If he does not make a meeting, it is his job to find out what he missed, not to initiate a replay like he did at the drainage meeting on the 17th. A meeting that was scheduled to last 15 minutes went over 50 due to him. He made it completely clear on the 17th whose side he was on when during the break he went straight to speak with the developers. He has posted on Facebook complaining about how the citizens of this fine parish have been talking about him. From what I have read, no one has spoken any untruths. I actually supported him when he ran for school board. However, when he lost all interest in doing anything with the schools. He had promised a donation to a local schools booster club, and when I tried to reach him on numerous occasions, he never responded. He then set his cap for councilman. 5 of you hate Quintmont, and I don't know why. He has done nothing bad. And tonight was just shameful, completely shameful on all of y'all's parts. And I'm embarrassed to be here. I'm tired of coming here and speaking at meetings. We all have lives, as do you. I'm fighting battles on 3 different fronts right now with the government on issues. I spend more time preparing these little speeches than I spend with my children and my family and my job. Something's got to give. We begged you tonight. You listened to countless peoples saying not to do, and then you just turned around and did it when 4 of you councilmen even explained why you shouldn't do it. So my question is why? Why? Is it because you just hate him so much? Or are y'all getting paid by somebody? There's got to be a reason why. And that's all.
Shelby Ballard. Mr. Chris Guidry.
Good afternoon. Appreciate y'all taking the time to let me speak. So as you may or may not know, Thursday I take over as the mayor of Sorrento. For months now, I've been working with the administration for transitioning, moving forward. Ron has been huge into helping us make a plan on how we was going to move forward for Sorrento. So I promised myself I wasn't going to get up here and talk tonight because I don't want to let politics get in the way of any progress of my residents in Sorrento. But since we have a decision that this changes things for me drastically, so what I would like from y'all is the same communication that I had with the administration to help me see how we can move forward. Because, I mean, as y'all know, ain't nothing hiding. They got open litigation between the town of Sorrento and the parish. And I've promised since day one that I was going to take a different stance than the previous administration. So what I'm asking now is, I need to know for my people, for my residents in Sorrento, what path do we take forward now? Who do I go to get these drainage answers? Who do I go to ask for help, you know? So, you know, that, I didn't want to talk, I didn't want, you know, this makes me emotional because we had plans for months moving forward on how we was going to tackle projects. So now I'm asking y'all as the drainage district for help to tell me, you know, where do we move from this, from tonight on, because I got 3 days before I take over and we had plans in place to get things done, and I don't want to let my people down. So that's, my phone is always on. I will come and sit down with each and every one of y'all if that's the way y'all want to do it, but I need answers for my constituents so we know which direction that we can move forward, and thank y'all.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. So you have one who is against but did not wish to speak, Ms. Patricia Cook.
Ms. Patricia Cook, she did not want to speak.
Turn in the red card. That's all the public speakers.
With that, we'll go on to B, the approval to establish the position of the CEO. We have a motion.
We have more speakers.
Motion and a second.
I have an objection to the motion.
I don't see, ma'am.
For A, B, C, and D, we were told that if we wanted to speak on each one, to sign on one card.
Okay, well, that's my fault. All the A, B, and A, B, C, D.
Please come up, Ms.
Yeah,
Teresa, please.
yeah. No, that's my fault.
One of the saddest nights I've ever spent with the parish council. I've been involved for 43 years in this parish, been through 11 different tenures. I'm older now, and I've certainly there are a lot of people that we're hoping will be a new generation to take over, but this is just the worst I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, you do not believe that you're elected to represent your people's wishes or desires. You think you were elected because you're smarter than your people. We certainly all know about the ABA, A Better Ascension, and we know that they're still in the works. Mr. Wagsback, I believe you were a member of them.
No, ma'am.
Well, you supported them. You supported them, yes. But anyway, let's just get back to the fact that you just want to take away an elected position of people in this parish. And that's why the parish president is so important to us, is that we can hold them accountable. When people are appointed, and when you want to bring in somebody that's appointed, the people who live in this parish, who pay the taxes in the parish, we don't have an opportunity to hold anybody accountable anymore. And again, I just thank you for the moment to talk to you. I know it's not something you want to hear, but I just think this is one of the saddest nights I've ever spent in any meeting anywhere, to think that we're happening, as we all speak, it's happening on a local level, the same thing that it's happening all the way up to the national, that representatives who are elected do not represent the people anymore. And I know y'all know there are a number of recalls going on, and I'm sure most of you will be caught up in it. Be glad to see you at the end.
Open.
Hey, did anybody else have a A, B, C, and D? Because full disclosure, I turned those cards in, and that's on me, ma'am. I'm sorry about that.
Just blame me.
No.
Thank you again for the opportunity. I'm signed up for the other C and D. I don't need to. The wheels are in motion. You've already demonstrated how you're going to vote. My concern and what I want to call out, Mr. Cagnolati, in your district, I'm not sure that you realize the vulnerable population and marginalized communities that live on the East Bank in Gonzales proper. I think you all must live on a castle on a hill. The communities of color, the poorest, this is old established Gonzales. They do not have the means to continue fighting the burden of the water that happens down 44 and on Burnside and in Fairwood. I know about that area because that's where my husband grew up.
I'm really shocked. I cannot believe. I thought you would listen to the people, the pressure of the press, the voice of the people, but you ignored it. It's unbelievable. I really cannot even fathom. I want to thank my councilman, Councilman Robert, Councilman Turner. I thank you. You're District 3. You're my road borderlines. Those districts. Thank you. But I'm shocked. I don't understand, and I'm very concerned. I will be on every effort to beat down the doors and make sure people know and hold you accountable. I'm shocked at some of the votes and all the past with the developments. Many of you in real estate, you've never recused your vote. You've never voiced a conflict of interest. These are things that concern us, but we know that you're right. You're going to do the will of the people. You did not do the will of the people. You should be ashamed of yourselves, and you did not exercise leadership.
Come on up, one left, and we'll.
All right, Ricky Carmouche, Prairieville. I was nice the first time around. I'll be nice this time, but I'm going to say what a disgusting display of public service. Absolutely disgusting. The people come to a public forum, voice their concerns, and this is what happens. So that's all I have to say to y'all. I'm going to speak into the microphone, but I'm talking to y'all now and to talk to the people that are listening. Thank you for coming out tonight. You know, this is a small battle. The way I see this is a battle. We lost a battle right here, but there's a silver lining. The silver lining is it's going to invigorate people. It's going to motivate people to get more involved in our government. We're going to pack this house full. Bring them in. Talk to your neighbors. Your people that are complaining, don't let them just complain. Grab them by the arm, bring them to this meeting. The people are seeing what they're doing. More people are seeing what they're doing. Bring them here. Talk to them. Let them come speak their mind. Come let them know that you're unhappy with them. Continue to do this time and time again. Wear them down. Let them know that we're watching what they're doing. I mean, I don't know what to say. When lines of people walk up here and express the same idea, the same argument, same goal, there's two plans on the plate here. There's one common goal, and we can't work together. Horrible. Disgusting, embarrassing for our parish.
That's all the public speakers.
That's all the speakers.
Oh, hang on. Denise Emmons.
Mr. Emmons? Edwards?
No, I have a call from Ms. Denise Emmons. Maybe, okay. All right, I apologize. Can you state your name, please?
Sonny Edwards.
That's on me, Dempsey.
Thank you, Mr. Robert. Or Robert, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Melanson, Mr. Mason, and Mr. Turner. The rest of you are garbage. Thank you.
Miss Denise Emmons.
Miss Denise Emmons. Miss Emmons?
That's right.
Which one is which?
Emails right here from, that we have just received from our parish, if you would, from our area, all just expressing their disgust. And I was the one that stood up back there because I was sure that you guys did not understand what you were voting for, that you didn't understand the motion on board, because I cannot believe that you would be so careless in your vote. I'm the one, I sent every one of you an email, and an email, and Corey opened it and did not respond or read it. Aaron responded in a ridiculous fashion, and I shared it all over Facebook for him. John opened it. Mr. Cagliari, maybe your secretary opened it and didn't tell you. Somebody opened the email because it was reported as read. Okay? And Joe Robert opened it, and that was it. So obviously you didn't care, you didn't listen, And in that letter, I did ask for you guys to go to Corey Oshroy and ask for his resignation after he turned his back on the lady that was speaking at the last meeting, turned his chair and completely turned around and completely ignored her. And Ms. Casso, you didn't
Please,
correct him.
Look, we've had enough name calling, please. Finish.
I called her by Ms. Casso.
There's been enough name calling, please.
Oh, ma'am. Which?
That's good, that's good.
Ma'am? Oh, ma'am, you did not correct Mr. Ogeron while you were banging your little gavel at everybody else. And it was just so unfair. We pay our taxes just like you pay your taxes. And to Aaron, I'd like to speak directly to you. You said you have a lot more people calling you. I want to know their names. I want to know where they are. Because when we're standing on the corner collecting names for your recall, I'll do it. But my check is written for the first $100 for every one of you to have your resignation, to either recall you or ask you to resign. And I cannot believe you can sit here and do this. And for the one man that has worked as hard as he has, and if you didn't hear the love of this parish and the respect of this parish from Ron Savoy, then you guys just don't have ears. Something's wrong. I mean, at one point I said we needed to call, the lady, the mental health lady. I said, should we have her check out Corey because he's getting ready to have a heart attack?
Ma'am, I told you, do not call names.
Him. Can I refer to him as the most bald?
No,
So-
no, we're not,
So anywho, my time is. Disrespect is not listening to your constituents. That's disrespect.
All right, with that was the last speaker. Agenda item B.
People want to speak, sign the card up.
Ms. Jordan?
She signed on all.
Do what?
Where's the red card for item A?
I put 4A, B, C, and D on my card.
Go ahead, Ms. Evans.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. As a citizen of this great parish, I would like to make just a few suggestions to the council. If you refuse to represent your constituents, please, please resign. That's what your job is. You're supposed to represent us. And I'm not saying this to be mean or angry or hateful, just that's what your job is. Second, and this one I think y'all need to really listen to, at meetings, before you make the actual vote, please make it clear what is being voted on and leave the ballot up long enough for us to see how y'all voted. That angers people when you do that. And you have to realize that y'all may know what you're doing and how to make a motion and whatever, but when y'all started with the substitute motion, y'all weren't clear what was even being voted on, and you lost everybody almost in the audience. The next thing is, some of you need to get ready for recall actions because that's where the people are tonight. That's how upset the people are. I think y'all know that because you listened to them. Lastly, I am just so disappointed in all of you, except the 4 who voted to table the agenda and give more time for y'all to come up with something that would be workable. So I would just like to say thank you to Joel Robert, to Travis Turner, to Chase Malonzo, my favorite 5th grade student, and to Michael Mason for voting for the wishes of your constituents. Thank you.
Please.
Was there anybody else who filled out a B, C, D card at one time and didn't speak on item B yet?
Ms. Savoy?
No, that's on item C. That's on item C.
Tiffany from Galvez. First off, to the 4 individuals that did actually listen to us tonight, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for actually doing the job that you were elected to do. To the rest of you who did not, shame on you. I don't see how you can look at yourself in the mirror and just know we are coming for you. We are no longer being silent. We are not the silent majority anymore. We're ready to take a stand back, we're ready to take our parish back, and things will be done now. So, and I do have one question for those of you who did vote to kick out our elected official that we, the people of Ascension Parish, elected to head up the drainage. I'd like to know, how much are you getting paid or what are you getting promised?
I believe that's it.
All right, open.
Mr. Domingue, you had signed the ABCD card?
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. Come on up.
Thank you again. Tough decision, tough decision. We got to do it for the betterment of all. What I really appreciated is the heart that's really behind this. I know there's a tremendous amount of friction, but there's a heart that's really in it to really get something really established that's going to work. And I look at Mr. Ron and his credibility, his heart. I mean, that's a man that's got to be on the team, okay? That's the kind of team player that we've all been looking for. And we got several team players here. And I think that we have the ability to put it together. I know there's friction because they don't like the means in the way it's coming about, in the way that it needs to go. But I think we've got to move forward. Moving through the mud ain't fun, and it's slow and it's hard. But I think we can pull out. We get on top. We can go. Again, thank each of you. Ron, thank you. Appreciate it.
Bridget Roulette. With that, I mean, we exhausted the cards. Go ahead and open up the voting machine, voting for item B.
Do we have a motion in a second?
Yeah. Sure, Mr. Diaz.
All right, so real quick, I mean, at some point, we see where this is going and we have to make it operational. And so we've had this discussion this morning, which means we got to, divide assets. And so I looked in here to see what functions this new drainage CEO would handle. And the only thing I see is here, it says drainage activities as defined by state law and the East Ascension Drainage Board. I guess as we go forward, and one, I know that our contract is now null and void with you guys. What does Ron tell his employees tomorrow? What?
Business as usual.
So
That's what
can
you
we
tell
do
them.
that without a contract? Can we do that without a contract?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Now, the second thing is, so I guess my question is, under where it says defined by state law, does that include pumping stations, roadside ditches, vegetation, sandbags, fleet, and litter?
Correct.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay. At some point in one of these documents, can we add an amendment? Because at some point, we got to figure out, we have $7.2 million worth of employees that are divided among multiple agencies, and we just need to know which tasks come tomorrow we will be responsible for, and which ones we're not.
We're looking at a long night, so just hold tight to that, Mr. Diaz. All right, if there's no other discussion from the board, we have a motion and a second.
I have a question.
Do we? Did we make a motion?
Yeah, we did.
I don't remember.
Well, let's start it back over.
Yeah,
We on item B.
I'll make a motion.
We got a motion by Mr. Aaron, second by Mr.
And I have a question, or a couple questions.
Sure. We'll get to the discussion.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. So, questions, Mr. Chase?
Mike, please, Chair. So looking at the creation of the CEO position, so I see that in the termination, it says mutual agreement of the parties. I don't understand what this means. Is it a simple majority of this body? Is it a supermajority? How do we terminate? And under the unilateral termination, if terminated, this person would still get paid the entirety of the contract. And nowhere on the document do I see a single qualification. I mean, does the person even have to graduate high school, or or have a driver's license, be I don't know, this. So I have a few questions. I don't know who drafted the document or anything like that, but I mean, on our ratified positions, we got strict qualifications when we operate as the governing authority, and this would be, I believe this would be the highest paid parish employee outside of the parish president, so I'm curious why we don't have a single qualification.
Okay. So, any other questions?
That's all I have, Chair.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, we want to hear the answer to that question.
You wanna? Okay, with that, we're gonna vote on the CEO of establishing the CEO. Open up the voting. Did it go through?
So you have to do this. There you go.
Please have it.
Hey, do we have to push in vote? Never mind.
Is he ready or not? All right, see the approval, professional service contract between East Ascension Drainage District, number 1. I'm looking at this screen up here. I'm 73 count. C, approval of professional service contract between East Ascension Drainage District number 1 and William Rue LLC as the interim CEO.
We have more speakers again. I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Chase, second by Mr. Aaron.
All right, Mr. Roy Domain.
Mr. Roy, wish to speak?
Pass. Okay. Mr. Ricky Cormush.
Ricky Carmouche.
Miss Lori Brumfield.
Miss Brumfield, Lori Brumfield.
Miss Kelly Couture.
Kelly Couture. Miss Kelly.
Mr. Sonny Edwards.
Sonny Edwards.
Miss Teresa Robert.
Teresa Robert.
Miss Bridget Roulette.
Bridget. Miss Bridget Roulette.
I just want to voice my disappointment, and I'm really disappointed in you, Terry.
Listen,
Expected so
please
much
get the
more.
name calling down.
Her name is Terry, and I'm addressing her. I'm disappointed in you as well. Corey and Aaron, y'all,
Oh, I'll tell you what.
be prepared, be prepared. There's going to be recalls. Now, get ready for it.
No, that was Ricky had two. Patricia Cook.
Patricia Cook.
Pass. Shayna Savoy.
Shayna Savoy.
It is not often that I speak in a public forum, especially when it comes to political matters. As many of you probably have never seen my face because I'm the quiet wife of that amazing man right there. Needless to say, there have been numerous sacrifices made on behalf of this parish. And I don't understand for the life of me why we are about to make a major stake in this one man with an LLC who has no employees, no support. I can't fathom the basis of this decision, and I have nothing against Mr. Rue. He gave my husband a career. He gave our family a life. The politics behind this, you guys, it's sickening. And our motto has always been, keep your head down, do your job, love your people. To back us into this corner where we are both speaking in public regarding political matters, I just want you to understand what's at stake. I don't take this lightly. And I just will leave you with this. We prayed before we came, knowing it would be a contentious situation. Philippians 2:3. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself. Thank you.
Ms. Catherine Melanson. Darren Melanson. Christina Guidry. Pam Alonso. Shelby Ballard. Pam Alonso. That's another.
Okay, the rest of these are on D.
All right, C, with the approval of professional service, open up the,
Do we motion on that? I thought we motioned just to open public hearing.
open, motion by Mr. Corey,
Second.
second by Mr. Aaron.
I have a few questions.
2 questions. Mr. Mason?
I'm curious as to how this professional services contract did not have to go through bid law. How did it not have to go through the bid process? I'm sorry? Professional services, according to our ordinances, has to go through bid law, bid contract. But it doesn't, our ordinances don't apply to Drainage Commission? Okay. My
Mr.
mistake.
Robert, do you care to answer that, or no? We'll get your answer, Mr. Mason.
Thank you.
Mr. Chase?
Yeah, so I have a few questions again. For professional services, for duration, we mostly do RFQ for this, especially whenever, we're aware that the LLC was just created last week. So it's a temporary deal, which again, it doesn't have any timeline. I don't know understand what temporary means, if that's a few months or, a year or two. I don't know what the intention is, how long this person is to hear, and at minimum, I would like to amend it to do away with the $50K consultant fee after it's relieved of its temporary CEO duties. And also, is a normal practice for us to hold harmless and indemnify an LLC and treat them just as such as a parish employee. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't recall ever doing that, letting an LLC operate as a parish employee. So that's a few questions I have, and I would like to amend the motion to, at minimum, do away with the $50,000 consultant fee after Mr. Rue is relieved of his temporary CEO status.
We have a motion and second. We have an objection. Open up we're going to vote on the amended motion first for Mr. Melanson. The ayes have it.
It's
We'll
tied.
go-
Tied. It still doesn't pass.
Still doesn't pass, so it's still 5, okay.
Yeah, it failed.
So we're going to
I do have a
the
question.
the original motion.
How do we have nobody here to answer a question? I mean, somebody drafted the document. It's a legal document, right? I mean.
Two lawyers drafted it, won't answer the first question about it. Yeah. There's been 3 questions asked and not an answer. We've got 6 of them vote yes. Michael, does this swear down prize and changes his vote too?
You try to do that.
Oh, Hold on, hey, hold on. Hold on.
We can get answers at the first drainage meeting. It's the standard response, it seems.
It'll be the first meeting that we have in July the 12th, so
Get answers on.
to have answers, Mr. Robert, are you taking the questions that you have here?
What's the question?
Mr. Che?
Yeah, I mean, all the questions I asked on this agenda item and the previous, I mean, are you still legal for the Drainage Commission? I mean, I have no idea. It's a...
Yeah.
Huh?
As far as I know at this point, it's...
So he may or may not still be our legal. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I guess we can...
We're conflicted out of this meeting tonight because this is a fight amongst, we represent the parish as a whole. I represent the administration and the board. And so these documents were not prepared by our office. I saw them for the first time tonight. And so we don't have any stake in the drafting or an opinion as to their validity or invalidity. We are out on this one.
Okay.
So why was there a vote? Why was there a vote on any of this?
So the approval of the professional service has passed. Go on to D.
No, we didn't vote on it yet.
No, we didn't.
vote on it. We have to vote on it now.
We voted against
The amended motion.
Now we have to vote on
for
it.
the motion.
Now we're voting on the original motion. See.
Tiny.
He announced his title.
You think this is funny?
Yes, he
When you up there smirking, this is funny.
Yeah, you're a joke, that's what he said.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, you never run talking to.
Vote Corey, and let's get through it.
Travis and Dow. We'll have to vote. Travis.
Go ahead and
I'm voting
replace your
to
vote.
approve C.
Tell them go ahead and vote. Go ahead and vote. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, D is the intergovernmental agreement. Ms. Terry?
No, yeah, we're on D now.
I'm sorry, D.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Again, I have objections and questions.
Sure.
Hey, I have
Hold on. He had it, Mr. Mason and then Mr. Chase.
Yeah, I had a question. So on the item 4D, it talks about the separation, joint use of property, shared office buildings based on a map attached to the document, and both with movable and miscellaneous property. I guess it was supposed to give us a map or aid or something that showed what that was going to look like, and it's not on this attachment. So I don't know. I mean, we're talking about an intergovernmental agreement. Do we have a document that shows the DPW building belongs to who? What? There's building offices. If DPW is using a tractor and and drainage needs it, who gets authority? There's no attachment that shows who now possesses what. And the intergovernmental agreement talks about an appendix that's not provided. So again, I just got a question: where's the map? So, but there's nobody here to answer. So
I can assure you, all the answers will be answered at the July 12th meeting.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, we can be given everything every tractor that we own and every building we own, we can be given from the parish, and none of us have a way of knowing. We have no idea what is going where.
Actually, it'll be based on which funds were used to purchase the equipment. It'll be based on which funds were used to purchase the equipment. If drainage funds were used to purchase any.
Did you create that?
So what do we do with equipment that was split? What do we do with equipment that is split, paid from multiple agencies or multiple funds?
Well, you'd have one agency would offer to buy it from the other one, is what I would assume you would do. That's the recommendation, I would say.
I don't want to get into this too hot and heavy, guys, but I'm just going to be real. This is going to be painful. Okay? It's going to be painful. And here it is. Where are we going tomorrow? Is Mr. Rue coming to Public Works tomorrow? Is he coming to work? That's a question. Because I need to know what to tell our people. I can tell you this, I got 182 employees, and every one of them know who they report to right now.
Sure.
I don't know where they're going tomorrow. Nobody's consulted with me about any of this stuff. So let's get it to where we transition, but you guys need to tell the public who to call when they got a drainage problem.
They're gonna call the number that they've always called, okay?
Well, you just voided the contract with the parish.
Well, you've got a 60 or 90 day period here that we're gonna deal with this. So
Well, we need to, I think we need to meet soon.
Sure.
About it.
So are you saying 60 to 90 days from now is when Bill rules takes over? After y'all finally decide everything?
Yeah.
Well,
what if we don't come to agreement? If I may speak.
Before we, Mr. Aaron.
Yeah, Ron, I was going to say, this is a 60-day notice. The president is still in charge for 60 days, but he can coordinate with you and Bill, and y'all can all get together. That's the goal. Hopefully tomorrow, y'all can get together immediately and start working on this, and we've got 60 days to work through all of this.
Okay.
The hope is, we can, please, people, just be quiet. Hopefully, we can have cooperation amongst everybody to get this done. I fully envision, you're not out of the picture at all.
I'll tell you this, Aaron. You're going to make me choose right now in front of these people?
No.
I'm going to tell you
not
right
asking.
now. Look.
Come on, Ron.
Ron?
No.
Ron, I'm not asking you to make any choices.
No, I'm going to tell you, I've already made my mind up. And that's okay. I'm going to help with this transition.
Thank you.
But you guys need to tell the public how you're going to handle drainage issues. And what you guys have in that contract, how are you going to handle that? I feel like that I have every intention of helping you guys out with this transition, but you guys need to get to the table real quick.
And I hope you're with drainage for a long time.
And Aaron, I think what would help us as we try to make this operational is if this item D wasn't future. So the site map he's talking about is to be decided on in the future. Why didn't we decide on that right now so we know what DPW looks like? The formula for utilities and maintenance, it's a mutually agreed upon formula that we're going to agree to in the future. Why didn't we agree on that now so it's in this contract, we know what that formula is? Like you actually have one section back here where
because
drainage will
just
take
like the
over
sewer
our
contract,
DPW. They will take command of our DPW employees, parish employees, during an emergency.
If you remember, just like the sewer contract, you have parts of it that you work on later on. I mean, you were part of that sewer contract, you know that you have parts.
So you don't know what you're voting on right now?
No, we do.
You don't know what we're going to
John,
negotiate.
John, please.
You don't know what we're going to negotiate.
John, please. Just like the sewer contract, when there's transfer of property, you have to work through that. That's what we're doing right now. That's what the next 60 days will be for. I would hope we have your cooperation in that.
What we're working on with sewage is agreed amount price, and it's just the legalities of transferring property. We know what we sold them, they know what they bought. It's just transfer. We don't know what we have right here. Like, I mean.
Then why did y'all want to hire an engineering firm to help with all
I'd
that?
like to know what mistake I made, Aaron Lawler, what you just asked me. You said I made a mistake. Can you tell me that?
I'm not dealing with him.
Huh?
Hold on, please.
I that mistake, Aaron.
Please. We'll get back to the D on the intergovernmental agreement.
Voting's open.
You picked the wrong one, Piper.
Go ahead and cast your vote. D is approved. Gonna go
Motion
on
to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
No, wait a minute, we gotta do executive session.
Motion to go into executive session.
Moved by Mr. Aaron, second by Mr. Johnny. We in executive session.
I hear what you're saying,
Excuse me. Bailiff, can you remove Miss Evans? She just asked him to punch me. This is getting ridiculous. I'm sorry, you're not bailiff. I'm just.
Where's,
Joel's not here.
John talking about?
Are we good, John?
Anytime you're ready.
Okay.
Motion to reconvene.
Second.
Mr. Corey.
After meeting with our legal counsel, I move that we permit a legal counsel to take any actions necessary in the lawsuit that we were just served.
I'll second that.
Moved by Mr. Aaron. Second by
That's it.
Mr. Chase. Motion adjourned by Mr. Mason, second by Mr. Johnny.
We need a vote.
Oh, is there, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any are there any objections?
We're done. We adjourn.